Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, we have another episode today. We're going to start with Isaiah Thomas, as you can see from the rundown. And I want to get into what Charles Barkley was saying about Kevin Durant not being a leader, man. All of that good stuff, man. Appreciate everybody for coming back. Some of y'all probably was here last night when I couldn't even get through this thing. So we're going to try to do a little bit better this time. Get through it a little bit quicker than what we did yesterday. Get to the phone calls and then get out of here, man. I just got a couple of topics I want to go over. For everybody that's new to the channel, if you're just now coming in for the first time or something like that, make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way out, on your way in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, man. That's big time for us if you sub. Big time if you share the feed is in it, and it's I mean, you got to be accustomed to coming in and hitting the like button and all that good stuff, man. So make sure you do that as well. And this episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports. I want to tell you about the easiest way to get in on some NBA action with Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just find your favorite player, or any player for that matter, pick higher or lower on that player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Pick between 2 or 5 players to fill your pick'em entry. Get every pick right, and you can net yourself some serious cash. Use the promo code ManDownSports, and you can get your deposit doubled up to $100. You got to check on the map to make sure your state is eligible to play Underdog Fantasy. But as soon as you do, and if your state is, go ahead and download Underdog Fantasy's app. Use the promo code ManDownSports, and you can, like I said, you can get that $100 match on your first deposit. And I would want to thank Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring Man Down Sports. All right, so yesterday I was trying to get to a clip that Isaiah Thomas that I heard him. He had a sit down with Larry Bird and Reggie Miller because they was in Indiana for the All-Star weekend, and they were just going through a lot of stuff, man. And one of the topics that came up was the Mount Rushmore point guards. Very good topic because as of late, especially after Steph Curry got his 4th ring and he finally got his first Finals MVP. Kevin Durant had got 2 of them. Iguodala had got 1 of them, so he didn't have that Finals MVP. And there was always that little voice in the back of his head of everyone saying that he couldn't win or he couldn't win more than one without Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant was the catalyst behind their wins and stuff like that. So he wanted to prove to himself and probably prove to everyone else that he was just as good as Kevin Durant as well, and he could do it without Kevin Durant. And he got the ring. They beat the Celtics, and now the narrative started changing. People started saying stuff like, "Oh man, should we start looking at Kevin Durant different? Should we start looking at Steph Curry as a point guard that can rival Magic Johnson for the best point guard we ever seen? Is he in the top 15, top 10 debate?" And then just recently this year, someone catapulted him into the GOAT debate. That was Draymond and Shaq. Just idiotically put him in the GOAT debate, man. So it was very interesting to hear a point guard, somebody from his fraternity, a little guy at that, Isaiah Thomas, speak about it. And this is what he said.
In terms of Mount Rushmore of point guards, I'll throw mine out there. You react. Magic, you. Mm-hmm. I guess you're going to put Stephen Curry on there because he's classified as a point guard.
I think the list starts with Magic and Oscar. Us little guys, we got no shot against Magic and Oscar. Those are the two. Now, when you get to the little guys, right? I'm like Larry. I'm the little guy.
Right.
Okay. I say that because the way I had to play in the era that I played in and the way I had to win and the people that I beat, I don't think any of them can do the things that I was able to do with my team. Mm-hmm. And the 4th person, I love John Stockton. I look at what John has done in the NBA. You have to look at those numbers and be like, damn, okay, I don't know if anyone will ever touch his assist record. And I don't know if anyone would ever get his steals record. So my 4 guys, Magic, Oscar, myself, and John.
He gave an explanation. He gave his 4 guys. It's Mount Rushmore. It's not a top 5. It's only 4 on Mount Rushmore. So for point guards, I don't think we're going to have that many people disagree with Magic at number 1, right? He didn't put himself number 2, even though I put him number 2, right? He put Oscar number 2, and he explained it by saying, they were big point guards. Magic was 6'9", Oscar was probably about 6'5", right? Oscar was destroying guys, man. Oscar was the triple double guy. Oscar was a bad dude, right? I mean, we just got to be real about it. And it took a whole lot for me because I had Oscar at 3. It took a whole lot for me to put Steph over Oscar, but I got Steph at 3 now. I got Oscar at 4, and my 5 is really iffy because I used to slight John Stockton with that 5th spot, and I used to have John Stockton around 7 because I had J Kidd at that 5th spot. And the reason why I had J Kidd at that 5th spot is because I have a weird criteria about being a number 1 versus being a number 2. And John Stockton was a number 2 his whole career, while Karl Malone was a number 1. So if I would have gave J Kidd, CP3, any of those point guards is kind of close to Stockton, if I would have gave them the opportunity to have the all-time leading scorer at power forward, well, not all-time leading scorer, he was number 2 for a while. Now he's probably, I think LeBron's 1, Kareem's 2. I don't know if it's Karl Malone or Dirk, but Karl Malone's top 5 still. I think, so he's top 5. Got more points than Jordan. This dude was a bucket. Just throw the ball to him, you get an assist, right? And he was a definite number 1. If you have the luxury as a point guard to have a number 1 like that, while you be a number 2, it helps you out tremendously. But it gives you a well, I'm not gonna say easier for the guy who don't have that, like J Kidd. He didn't have J Kidd was the number 1, right? So you have more pressure on you to win than John Stockton did, right? And with that pressure, J Kidd went to I want to say three straight Eastern Conference Finals and went to 2 straight finals, but he met a buzzsaw in the finals. He had to face daggone Shaq and Kobe, so it's gonna be hard to get by that. But I mean, he as a number 1, he took his teams very far, and then on top of that, he was a defensive specialist. He was really good on defense, man. So that's why I have J Kidd at 5, and then John Stockton comes somewhere around 6 or 7 for me, right? But I say all that to say this. Oscar is definitely in there, and Isaiah is definitely in there, right? Now, Steph Curry doesn't move past Isaiah for me, right? I mean, he just can't, for the same reason. And the same, and Isaiah kind of explained it. He was like, man, for the team that I had, the era I played in, number 1, let's just talk about the era. The era itself, anybody in the era of 80s, 90s, 2000s, I'm going to give them extra credit or extra points on being able to navigate the era and achieve what they achieved in the era. This era here, you're going to lose points, right? So, I mean, 30 points in this era is not equivalent to 30 points in their era, right? Because every stat, every point that you get in this era is this game was created for you to get it. Like, we're changing the game for you to get more stats in this era. It's not that impressive. And they're admitting it. We change. Adam Silver said we changed the game so we can see your skill. Like all that, skill that you worked on, you probably wouldn't have been able to do it back in the 90s when you was getting pressed 94 feet and you had to back your way and zigzag all the way up the court to avoid losing the ball against pressure and hand checking. Right, Derek Harper would pick you up 94 feet, put his whole hand around your waist and control where you was going to go and walk you all the way up court with his hand checking you. Right, that's how it is playing. So you're not going to be able to see Steph Curry come up full speed, run up and pull from 3 feet from behind the 3-point line. You're not going to see. You're going to see Steph Curry walking that ball up, or you're going to see Steph Curry letting somebody bigger walk the ball up, and he's going to be running off screens like Reggie Miller. Right, so the games will look a lot different. Just think about how Ray Allen played in the 90s, and think about how Steph plays right now, and think about if prime Ray Allen was in this era right now, he would probably have more threes than Steph. Right, Ray Allen probably only shot four threes a game back then. Right. So it was totally different. So I give people more kudos, more points, more credit in the previous eras than this one. So what Isaiah did with the team that he had, his team was very similar to the team that Iverson had with Philly. He had a bunch of bruisers, a bunch of defenders and rebounders. The points was going to come a lot from him. Now it was a little bit different for Isaiah. Like for Iverson, he was getting 25, close to 30 points a game. And Isaiah could go for 30 points if he needed to, but some years he had Mark Aguirre, who was a real good scorer. He had Vinnie Johnson, the microwave, who was a really good scorer. And he had Joe Dumars, but those was the point. As far as Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, and all those dudes, they was there for defense, rebounding, setting screens, and all that stuff, right? So what Isaiah did, getting 2 rings, going to 3 straight finals, could have had a 3-peat. Like we've never even thought about a guy. I mean, before Steph, what little guy led their team to a finals and won it? And what little guy has done it multiple times? And what little guy had done it back to back, almost a 3-peat? And then taking down Larry Bird, taking down Michael Jordan, taking down Magic Johnson. He took all those dudes down. Right. So you got to think about that. And that's what he's explaining. He was like, man, what I did, who I went through, how I did it, in the team I did it with, in the era I did it in, it's going to be hard for you to beat that. Right. So Magic, Isaiah, 1 and 2, 100%. Number 3 is debatable between Steph and Oscar. Right. So one of them is going to be 3 and 4, but those are the 4. And then when you get to 5, you can start that debate between Jason Kidd, John Stockton, maybe CP3. The thing about Jason Kidd and John Stockton is John Stockton has the assist record, which will never probably be broken. And John Stockton also has a steal record, who he got a good margin on that as well. But J. Kidd is right behind him in both. J. Kidd is number 2 in assists and steals. So I think that's real interesting that John Stockton is 1 in both categories and J. Kidd is 2 in both categories. So I think that's real dope. So I still got Kidd at 5, but I take J. I take J. Kidd I take J. Kidd at I got J. Kidd at 5. I take John Stockton at 6. Right. So that's one interesting thing. Let me see what these comments is talking about, man. And if y'all want me to open the phone lines on this one, y'all, I can, or we can move. But let me see what y'all talking about. Yeah, this is live. As a matter of fact, yeah, because I don't want to read all these comments, man. I open the phone lines. Phone lines is open, man. Call in. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all agree with Isaiah Thomas on his Mount Rushmore? Do you have a problem with it? And I want to hear what y'all think about the Steph being at 3 or Oscar being there, and then also what you think about J. Kidd and Stockton being in at 5. Caller from California, what's up?
Hi, how you doing, bro?
I'm good.
My name
man.
is I'm Dylan. I'm from in California, Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
I was going to touch up on the subject of when you was talking about, yesterday, like Steph Curry and the guy you was talking to. I know he didn't really have that much knowledge. Like basically saying Curry was top 5. I don't have him as top 5. I have Curry as top 9 in resume. Right, he just passed Hakeem Olajuwon in his last ring in 2022. That's where I got him. Now in point guard, I don't really, I mean, like you said, I do have Oscar Robertson up there. I do have Isaiah Thomas up there because he beat 2 juggernaut teams with Magic, James Worthy, Byron Scott, like he did, and Larry Bird, Dennis Johnson, Kevin McHale. He did beat two juggernauts. So I do have Isaiah Thomas as a high thing. Not really him beating Michael Jordan because he beat Michael Jordan when he was really by himself, and
right.
Scottie Pippen wasn't really developed yet. So it's
right.
Yeah.
That's fair. So give me your top 5 again.
I don't have the top 5 in point guards, but I got my own top 10 list all time is resumes. It's number 1 Jordan, number 2 Kareem, number 3 LeBron, number 4 Kobe, number 5 Tim Duncan, number 6 Magic Johnson, number 7 Shaquille O'Neal, number 8 Larry Bird, number 9 Stephen Curry, and number 10 Hakeem Olajuwon.
That's interesting, man. Ain't no way I'm putting Steph over Hakeem. Ain't no way I'm putting Shaq over Bird either. But it ain't a bad list. That's pretty dope though. I can't even put Shaq over Hakeem though. What my rule on Shaq and Hakeem, man, wherever Hakeem is, Shaq got to be behind him. Where for me.
I know when he first came in, I know Hakeem was whooping his ass. I understand. I know. But I'm just saying the team that Hakeem had, Hakeem was already in it for what 9-8 years. He was already developed and stuff, and he had a little team where he had Clyde what's that? I think a middle age Clyde Drexler in there. So it was like plus he had like a better footwork. So I understand. Now mind you, I'm only 20.
So the resume.
Years old.
Oh, you said you're only 20?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
20 years old.
Yeah, that make a big difference, man, because you ain't get a chance to see that thing live and up close and
true.
You know what I mean?
True. But I know how bad. Like I think, just because I play basketball, so I know how dominant. Well, my bad. I have like a vision of how dominant Hakeem was, being that tall with that footwork, having a mid-range shot, having a free throw. He could shoot free throws. So that's why, like, when people they be comparing, him and Shaq, and I'd be like, bro, I mean, Hakeem, but the reason why I got Shaq above Hakeem is in the top 10 was because of, resume. It wasn't really like, skill set. If it was skill set, oh yeah, definitely I would have Hakeem over Shaq.
That makes sense. I'm with you on that. That makes sense. But yeah, Hakeem was better though, man. But I appreciate the call, man. What was your name again?
Dylan, bro. Dylan Thompson.
Dylan. All right, brother. I'll catch you on the next call.
Gotcha.
All right. Hey, that caller from Ohio, man. I think I kept missing your call yesterday, man. Call back from Ohio. Or I'm gonna call you. You know what? I can call you. My daggone my camera keep blinking, man. I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's Indiana. Who's at the call from Ohio? My bad. Well, whoever that caller was from Ohio, you can call back. But somebody mentioned Steve Nash. Steve Nash, yeah, I mean his greatest achievement was winning MVP 2 times, right? Back to back. That's big. That's the same thing that Curry can brag about. But who you go put Steve Nash in front of? Definitely not Kidd. Definitely not Magic. Definitely not Oscar. Definitely not Isaiah. And definitely not Steph. Right? So and definitely not Stockton. So I mean, so kids go have. I mean, that's 6 right there. So Nash go have to come after that. The debate can start at 7, but then at 7 you got Nash, you got CP3. You gonna have to deal with. I mean, Penny did lose half his career to injury, but maybe he gets in the debate. Gary Payton gets in the debate. Then you got to go older. You might have to talk about maybe Pistol Pete, even though he was kind of a 2 guard, I think. You might have to talk about who you gonna have to talk about, maybe Havlicek. So I mean, if you go old school, it's gonna be some guys that's gonna be contending for that top 10. Nash don't just automatically get there. It's gonna be a debate for sure. It's definitely gonna be a debate. I mean, when you add defense into it, Tony Parker too. Tony Parker as well. Yeah. I mean, so it's a lot of point guards you're gonna have to add into that mix. And then you're gonna have to ask yourself, man, how do you deal with this type of debate when and I'm not gonna say this player's name, but some players are better, but their reputation probably don't allow for us to see them in that light. And that person I'm talking about is Kyrie Irving. How do you deal with him? Right? You know, how do you deal with Kyrie Irving? It ain't like you can't say he never won. And if you gonna honor John Stockton being the number 2 behind Karl Malone and getting to 2 finals, you definitely got to honor Kyrie Irving being a number 2 to LeBron and getting to 3 finals. Did they go to 3? Maybe 2. Well, he got hurt in 1. They won 1. He went to 2. So he went to 2 finals just like Stockton, but he won 1 and was way more instrumental in the success of that team in the playoffs and in the finals than what Stockton was. I mean, he actually hit game-winning shot, hit clutch baskets, and scored a ton of points, probably more than Karl Malone scored, and that was the number 1. So you got to deal with Kyrie Irving at some point. I mean, you can slight him as much as you want to. They slighted him out of the top 75. You know, they slighted him on every other list they possibly can. I don't know how long they're going to punish Kyrie Irving, but he's got to fix his image somehow and maybe kiss some butt a little bit to get back in everybody's good graces for them to actually judge him fairly, right? And then some people might not ever judge him fairly, but at some point he's got to fix that. And then once they start being honest about Kyrie, they're going to have to actually deal with how good he is, and he's going to be in that top 10 discussion as well. You know, so those are things how I look at it, man. If we're not getting no more phone calls on this one, let me see if I can. Yeah, I might not see the number. I'll wait 10, 15 more seconds for we get. Okay, that's Rod.
If we're not getting no more phone calls on this one,
hey, Rod, hit mute on YouTube.
Gotcha.
What's up, Rod?
Hey, okay, I'm gonna get a little personal here.
All right.
Cause you know I be listening with you. But one of my favorite players of all time, I ain't heard his name mentioned in the conversation. I want to know what you think.
Okay.
AI.
He's a 2 guard though.
Okay.
He's a 2 guard.
Yeah.
So if I did a top 5 of 2 guards, of course number 1 and 2 is Mike and Jordan, right? Then for 3, you're gonna have to think about, is it gonna be Jerry West? Is it gonna be Dwayne Wade? Those guys, and then Iverson probably could be in that debate for number 5. But there's gonna be a lot of people in that debate. I mean, for you got Iverson there, you got depending on if you think T-Mac is a small forward or a shooting guard, or Vince Carter or Ray Allen or somebody like that. Like it's gonna be a lot of people. And James Harden name might come up. He's a 2 guard that's playing point guard now, but he's a 2 guard. So it's gonna be a lot of names in that, and that's just the modern players. You go older, it's gonna be even more names, right? So Iverson name comes up there. He could possibly be top 5 for his position for shooting guards for sure.
Yeah. Okay. You know, that's just one of my favorite players, and you know I respect his game. You know, so I just wonder, you know, people don't mention him when they speak on that greatness. You know, maybe, you know, like I said, because he's one of my favorite players. So yeah, you know, I take that.
I don't slight. I don't slight AI. I give AI his credit, man. He's in that discussion for 5. I mean, but we know 1, 2 is Mike and Kobe, and 3 could be between Wade and West. But that 5th spot is the open slot that can be debated, and Iverson definitely in there.
Yeah, and when you said on that, well, you kind of mentioned some people don't mention some people because of personal reasons. I think AI kind of fall into that category too, because he was one of those people who rebelled against, you know, some of the rules that the commissioner others wanted to put in, and he stood up for, you know.
Yeah, it's some players that's very easy to target, and some players is very easy to overlook because they don't have a media beehive, for lack of a better terms, right? They don't have a beehive that's going to come after you. Like if you slight LeBron in anything, like right now, if someone tweak their top 5 and leave LeBron out, it's going to be talked about on every ESPN show the next day, and you're going to have so many people coming in and support LeBron saying that they're hating, right? But if you but if you leave AI out, they're not even no one's going to care. They're not going to talk about it. That no one's going to come out and protect them. Reebok is not going to call ESPN and say, "Hey man, you messing with our money. We can't sell shoes if people don't think he the GOAT." You know what I mean? So, I mean, these are the things that they got behind some players, man. So it's easy to target Kevin Durant and Kyrie. They don't have support in the media. No one's gonna come defend them, and Allen Iverson as well. And then people leave Dr. J out of every discussion for some reason, but no one's gonna make a fuss about it. So it is what it is, man. It's only a couple of people that you can't slight because the media won't let you, right? So
yeah, and you know I love your show, but but I was gonna tell you the other day, man, you keep cooking your callers like this, man. How long you expect people don't want to call up to get cooked?
I mean, I ain't cook nobody, man. If anything, they cook themselves, man. Like I just be, all I do is provide the water. They get in the pot on their own and cook themselves, man. So
yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right, brother.
All right, peace.
Yep. I'll take a couple more phone calls before I move on. Yeah, man, I don't cook nobody, man. DC Slim, what's up?
Man, what it do, man?
What's
Best
up, man?
fucking show on YouTube, man.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm good, man. Hey, you're not calling to get in that pot of water, is you?
Okay, look, I'm gonna stand up for Steph a little bit. I think y'all been a little bit too rough on Steph, man. Pause.
Okay, hold on. I didn't say nothing about Steph. I said he was number 3, top point guards.
Yeah, I don't know. I think point guards this is the only thing in out of all positions I think can be subjective, because that's only based on how good your team is.
Okay.
So I think Magic is good because he played with 15 Hall of Famers. Isaiah is good because he played against Jordan all the time. Them the two that we saw the most. But I'm telling you, dog, Gary Payton will give all them dudes a run for their money.
Gary Payton was solid.
John Stockton. I think Gary Payton is a better offensive player, defensive player than Isaiah Thomas. So if you're gonna put Isaiah Thomas too, you gotta put Gary Payton too. That's why I say this real subjective, and it's kind of based on like who they play for and the style. Because John Stockton, dog, he was an animal, dog. Even Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, I would say Chris Paul, dog. All of you dudes good, but see, somebody like Chris Paul was the worst victim to all of this. He just ain't play on the team where they won, so you can't give him no credit. But as a point guard, that dude is a beast. And Steph Curry, I would say I don't know where to rank him. I just think he's good in his own right. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about them point guards. You can't really, that's a spooky, like the AI thing. AI is a point guard that just scores a lot. He played 2 in the NBA, but he's a point guard. So that's tough.
He's in the point guard body, but he played point guard for about half a season, maybe a full season. He played 2 guards. Why we just can't call him
a point guard? Because all is based on size. So why Magic a point guard?
Well, so we gotta talk about what a position is. A position, you like what is your definition of a position?
When I see a point guard, I just think he bring the ball down.
That's not what we're talking about. Okay, that's a role. But we talking about position, right? Positions have spots on the floor where they occupy. That's why they call them positions.
You know what?
Wait.
I think you're right.
That's why they call them positions, because there is a place where you operate relative to what a basketball goal is, right?
I agree with you on that.
When you look at soccer and they say go play forward, then that's called a position, and we know what forward is. It's going to be the forward most players closest to the goal on offense, right? That's what a forward
Okay, so
is.
let's take AI out then. No more. We can't
Hold
use
on,
AI.
hold on.
You say it like that. I'm with you.
I'm
with
teaching.
you.
I'm teaching.
Go ahead, land that plane. I got you.
So you got forward in soccer, you got center or center back or center forward, and then you got your defenders. All of those are positions. If I told a soccer player to go forward, they know exactly where they go. If I told them to go center, they know where to go. If I told them to go play defender, they know exactly where to go. Same thing in basketball. If I say play center, that means you're going to be close to the rim, on the block somewhere, or in the paint, right? If I tell you to on defense that we're playing 2-3 zone, and I tell you to play center, you know where you at. If I'm telling you to play up top and play guard, you know where you at. So all the positions just say this is where you're going to be at relative to the goal, right? Now, as far as a role for a point guard, yes, the role is to orchestrate the offense, get the players involved, and do all of that stuff. That wasn't Iverson's job. Iverson was not getting the players involved, and he did not occupy the same spot at point guard position. That was Eric Snow. Iverson was a true two guard, undersized, but he was a true two guard. Right.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. But I can tell you, Magic, I really think Magic is number one by default. He's the tallest one out of the group. He's the biggest, and like pause. He's not a true point guard. That's why I don't really think a point guard. That's why I don't think LeBron is a good point guard. You taller, you can see the floor better. It's more easier. You know what I'm saying? So when I see a point guard, I see him as one of the smallest dudes on the court, going off pick and rolls, setting off screens, all stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But Magic played with 89 Hall of Famers, man. So you really can't put him. Ooh, that's rough.
I get it, man. If that was close, I would tax Magic a little bit, but Magic was Magic, man. It's not close. That's why it's so easy to it's just not close. Right?
You don't think that was easy to just come down and just whip that Joe to Kareem, like, and then you got 2-3 other people on the other side.
Kareem was 1,000 years old, man. Okay, we act like Kareem was Lou Alcindor when he was playing with Magic. Look, Kareem was 1,000 years old, man. You know what I mean?
So do you take points away? Because what I usually do is I subtract. Look, if you played on a great team, I'll still give you your dues, but it's got a lot that that makes you good too. That's why I say, why wouldn't somebody say John Stockton first when John Stockton was a natural point guard? Even on somebody like Steve Nash, them white boys was vicious, man. So
yes, I don't give extra credit if you're a pure point guard. That's like me giving extra credit if you're a pocket quarterback. If Cam Newton, the way he played quarterback, if he would have won 4 Super Bowls, and then Peyton Manning only got 2, we would have been looking at Cam Newton as a better quarterback. Even though he played the position different, he still was a quarterback that ended up achieving more wins than Peyton Manning. But Peyton is the prototypical quarterback, pocket passer, 100%. Right. So Stockton is the prototypical point guard, and we want to give him extra points for being prototypical point guard. But if we got a person like Steph Curry who achieved more than him by playing the position different, I'm not going to put Stockton over him just because he played the position the prototypical way.
Well, see, I don't think that's fair because the achievement is based on the team. And see, that's where I draw the line, and I hate comparing players because a lot of your comparisons are based on achievements. So to say that, Steph Curry is a better point guard than Stockton because he won 3 rings is nuts.
No, not just because he won 3 rings. I'm watching them both play, and Steph is better than him. Like when I watch them both play. Before I get to looking at their paper resume, if I just go in the gym and watch both of them play, Steph's better.
Wow. So now you got to make sure you understand what you're saying. By you saying that, remember Stockton is 4 on your list.
Stockton is 5. Stockton is 5 on my list.
Wow.
Well,
Jay Kidd
is 5 on my list. Stockton is in the discussion. I would debate Stockton at 5. I would debate that. but it's no debate for the top 4. Stockton, he can't beat those
Curry
guys.
in the top 4.
I got Curry
all
number 3.
All them other dudes you said can play defense. They don't. They played in a league where it was touching and moving.
Yeah, I agree.
You got a dude at number 3 who don't play a lick of defense. Okay, now mind you, see this is what
I don't believe that. I don't agree with
you
that.
Doing that. Come on, now you telling
I don't
me
agree
you
with
would put him over? You telling me Steph Curry is better than Gary Payton? Watch this. Say the Golden State Warriors played the Seattle SuperSonics, right? And Gary Payton would be checking Steph Curry.
And he'll be checking them well.
Think Steph Curry? How much would Steph Curry score that night?
If it was in the 90s,
you can put it in any year.
In this era, where Gary Payton came.
Give me the Supersonics that played Mike against any Golden State team that you want. Gary Payton will shut that young man down. DC,
under these rules, because we just seen something similar to that in the Defensive Player of the Year in Marcus Smart when he played against Steph. Under today's rules, the way the NBA calls the game, Steph Curry would probably be able to get his numbers against Payton, possibly.
So what if we go back to 90s rules?
In the 90s rules, Steph Curry would be Mark Price.
Wow. This is unbelievable. Hey, look. Remember you was talking yesterday, talking about what's messing up basketball? Rankings, dog. Look, let's just leave people where they at, dog. Errors is errors. People is good. They tight.
The rankings ain't messing up basketball. The rankings are messing up people's feelings. Right, if hearing what I'm saying about my opinion about why I rank people and why is messing up basketball for you, then that you got to go sit. You got to come sit on my couch, DC. And I got seriously, I got another show that I'll be starting is unsports related. You can come sit on my couch and I will counsel you because I think yeah.
It is opinions. Look, I understand what you're saying, but dog. At some point in time, somebody's going to have to show me in writing what is the real criteria to put a person to where they is besides your feelings and your opinion.
Yeah, this ain't feelings for me.
The show for that then.
But DC, but look, it's not. Listen, it's not feelings for me. You just seen me do a whole show for 3 hours on Steph Curry, on my other opinion, and it wasn't. A lot of people didn't. They thought it was personal for me just because it was my opinion and it wasn't all glitz and glamour for Steph Curry. Now I'm sitting here vouching for him. I don't have feelings in this. I removed it.
I didn't say feelings. I said, what is, I'm going to say it again. It's got to be a criteria. So if it's just everybody's opinion, we ain't never going to get nowhere. So we always just going to keep agreeing to disagree. Eventually, somebody got to say, well, look, because you did this and somebody did that, this has got to be taken away. So you understand what I'm saying? Like, you just can't say Steph Curry is that high because he won. No, he's not a great defender.
Yeah, but you heard me say that that's not what it's about. Like if Steph Curry didn't win, let's even a playing field for John Stockton and say Steph Curry, John Stockton, they both won 0 rings. They both averaged the same amount of points and assists. Now you don't have anything to go by on paper. All you got to go by is what you see on the floor. When you watch Curry, play and you watch Stockton play, I'm looking at a better player in Steph Curry. I'm sorry.
Wow.
The goal of basketball is to score the ball and stop your man from scoring. Steph scores better than Stockton.
Wow. So, but see, that's
by a long
Stockton
margin.
Is not a scorer. Is he getting punished because he don't take as many shots?
Well,
so guess what? Curry would be the equivalent of Allen Iverson then. So you almost got to take him out of the equation.
Who?
He ain't no point guard.
I mean, if that makes you feel better to take him out of the point guard equation just so you can have Stockton in the top 5, then you can do that.
Nah, that's not.
I just wouldn't do that. That man play point guard. I'm not gonna put him somewhere else because it makes me feel better.
But okay, look, I'm not. We ain't going nowhere with this, right?
Yeah, because I'm gonna get because you got on the phone at 20 minutes. It's 40 minutes now.
Nah, it's all good. Look, we're going to agree to disagree. But once again, like I said, in point guards, it's subjective. You said yourself, it's somebody's opinion against another opinion. So if somebody don't agree with you, and if you challenge them, Just be ready for what they might challenge you with. Because like I said, if you're going to say Steph Curry is what he is, he's the equivalent of AI. So you took AI out of the equation. Curry ain't no point guard. He's
AI
actually
played two guard. AI played two guard.
That's just because it was next to his name. But we all know Steph Curry is a two guard in this league.
No, he's not.
Yes. He's not. He don't bring he okay, I got you. You win, dog.
Yeah.
You know I still love the fucking show. Yeah. I get with you later, my dude. Peace out.
All right, thanks, brother.
All right, peace.
Yeah. All right. Are we getting another caller before we move on? We'll see. Do y'all agree? Like, should I be like, because basically what DC is saying is, number one, he don't think Steph is a point guard, so I should evaluate him as a shooting guard, which is, it's just unfair, because we all say Tim Duncan is a power forward and he's the best power forward we've ever seen, but Tim Duncan played center probably his last 5 or 6 years in San Antonio, right? Right now, Kevin Durant played power forward for Phoenix. We still see him as a small forward, right? LeBron, he's a small forward, but we all know that LeBron operates as a point forward, aka a point guard, a lot of the times, right? Do I have to evaluate LeBron as a point guard when I'm making a list? So you just evaluate the play. If you're making a list of positions, you got to evaluate the player by the position that they play, even if they, a lot of the times are playing off ball if they're supposed to be a point guard. Caller from California. What's up? What's your name?
Hey man, this is Troy. I'm in your chat. I'm the dog training guy, but
What's
I
up?
wanted to say I love your show, man. I found it maybe a month ago, and everything you put out is pretty awesome.
I appreciate it, brother.
Unique angle. So, I didn't even really disagree necessarily with what you're saying. I think I want to add something, because when we have these conversations, everyone wants to, oh no, he's not a this, he's not a that. And I do agree with you. The positions are a place on the floor so we can scheme, so we can get the team on the same page. But I will also say, and I'm sure you tell me if you agree, that it's a skill set as well, right? Not necessarily a role. These things all interchange with each other on the basketball court.
Yeah.
But I think for your Steph point and the AI point, I think I could offer kind of like a bridge between the last caller and you, is that point guard, we know what a point guard is, right? If we're talking prototypical build, point guard is like a John Stockton, right? We all see that.
Yep.
And I will say one counterpoint to Steph Curry, he might score more points, but you might be interested in, I don't know, but I might be interested to see if Stockton accounted for more points with his assists and numbers together, because a point guard's role, right, or job on the floor is to get the offense going. Steph does that in his own way, but Stockton did too, and he leads the NBA all time in assists by like a country mile.
Yeah.
So it's something to consider. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would say you got your prototype.
Go ahead. I agree with that part. Stockton, when you add in his points and assists. Now, I will say this: Stockton was a master scorer as well. Like he's master.
Great at what he did, man. When he put it up from mid range, he's going in a lot. Like
mid range 3-point. Mid range 3-point free throw. He was a master just as much as Steph was.
Complete player for sure.
Correct. And but this is my thing, and this is the hot take, and then I'll let you finish your point. This is a hot take. I got a lot of love for Mark Price. I think Mark Price was a better basketball player than Stockton, and I think Mark Price is just as good as Steph Curry.
Mark Price was wrong era.
Man, in the wrong era. He was. People want to compare Mark Muad'Dib to Steph, but Mark Price is more of a comparison to Steph. He is. Like the shooting percentages. Like he was 47% from the field. Steph never. I don't think Steph shot that. I think Steph might be 47. I think Steph is 47. But yeah, they about both 47. I think Stockton. Mark Price was about 40% from three. Sometimes he shot 45%. I think one year he shot 48%. Right. And then from free throw range, he ended out his career at 90%. But I think I seen some years where he was 97%. This dude was a master marksman, man. master.
Plus, he was a dark horse killer in NBA Jam, OG NBA Jam.
Yeah, but he just kept having those knee
that.
injuries. He kept having those knee injuries, and think about if he would have had freedom of movement back then, like they got now.
Oh, totally. And if he had the green light, he could move and no one could touch him like today. And if you get under him, imagine his percentage if you couldn't get under him. I mean, a lot of these shooters. So, but I will say this, and I don't want to take up a ton of your time. I would offer to build a bridge between the last caller and your position, because I don't think you're off track. I actually think tons of your takes are legit, especially when you talk Kobe, you talk LeBron, you talk the modern game. You see the game. I could tell that you understand the X's and O's team before. You clearly played organized ball.
And coach.
Same here. You know, so I would say this. You got your prototypical point guard, right? And then you got your guys that, you know, you got your shooting guard. Those are your backcourt, right? You got your shooting guard and your point guard. And everyone here will be like, well, AI wasn't a point guard. He didn't get the people involved. Steph Curry is running more like a Rip Hamilton, Reggie Miller style shooting guard off screens, which is all true, I think. I think it's best when you look at positions, right? If you're a smart coach and you got a guy like Steph, you go, look, we're not running a traditional point guard. We got a combo guard right here. He could play either position. And I think the combo guard bridges the point guard of the old game, right? Like a Jerry West,
right,
or a John Stockton, and then you got the shooting guard purist, like AI is more of a shooting guard. You know, he looks like a point guard because he's short. I don't think that matters, because if you get the shot off, it don't matter.
Yep.
And a Kobe shooting guard. Kobe dished it out great. I mean, I think he leads shooting guards in assists over his career. But
yeah, he does.
But he's a shooting guard, right? You need a shot. You give the ball to Kobe. He's going to get a shot off. Don't matter. He's going to get a shot off. T-Mac was a shooting guard, but he had the build almost of like a KD before KD. He was huge.
Yep.
So I just think when we look at some of this stuff, you know, it's like the game was built in a certain way, and you had to build the game out like that so it could evolve. But the combo guard, I mean, Steph Curry might be the number one combo guard to ever play. But I do think when it comes to point guard, when I think of point guard, I don't think of a body type and I don't think of a role. I think of you know, like a job on the floor. Everyone's got a job on the floor, and if you're not getting the team involved, but that's hard to say too. To your point, Steph Curry gets the team involved just by running, just by moving. Man, he gets everyone space. You get cuts. There's cuts wide. The floor opens up so much with having Curry running around. So yeah, I mean, you make good points. I just thought I'd offer that. The combo guard is, I think, the backcourt is not two positions. It's three positions. It's point guard, shooting guard, combo guard. That's the bridge between the two.
Okay. I accept that.
Hey, man, keep doing your thing, and I'll try to call in more, because I do really like what you're doing with your show. It's really chill, and especially in the scope of, like, some of the garbage that people be putting out, man. I appreciate that, what you're doing, bro. Like, there's definitely a gap here you're filling. You clearly knew that, and I appreciate it. You know?
Yeah, I appreciate
as a Laker fan who's really having trouble watching LeBron through all this stuff, man, it's hard, bro. It's hard, man. I'm a Kobe. I watched Kobe his whole career. I played ball. I coached ball.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I feel like I'm pulling my hair out. They're ruining the game I love, bro.
That's true. But look, before you go, since you told me you're a Lakers fan, let me tell you this to make you laugh, right? I was talking to some of my friends earlier today, and I was like, y'all notice how Kobe went out on his last game the way we usually see him. He shot a lot, he scored a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, he was clutch, and then he won the game, right? That's the Kobe we know, right? So I said, what would be the equivalent for LeBron? He's gonna pass a lot.
I don't know, missing 2 free throws.
He's gonna pass a lot. He's gonna get a lot of assists. He go pass the ball for the game winner, and they go lose. That's how that's going.
Would you allow me one last quick point?
Yeah.
Look, I'll just say this. Look, I would say the only thing that holds LeBron back is that he's not genuine, even when he's trying to be genuine. That last thing he just said, oh no, if I could take praise. Like, come on, man. Just give me a real moment, LeBron. Give me a true, like, let the veil drop for one moment, because, you know, he is good. He's got skills, but he plays a rudimentary style of ball. I think he's wildly overrated. I definitely understand why. There's a business in the NBA. You even talk about that. There's a lot of, you know, they need LeBron to be floating until they got the next guy. But I mean, you can't be the GOAT when you don't have a complete game. And if you can't hit free throws, if you don't want the shot, like not you'll take it. If you don't want it, LeBron takes the shot when it's convenient and is like, this is going to look good if I make it.
Right.
But it always seems to not be a bad thing when he shoots it and misses.
And it's always when it's desperation too. It's always when it's desperation.
And
so
hey,
if he does miss it, yeah.
If you got it, look, let's say we're on a team, right? And you cook, you got it. You know what I mean? We know, we're like, hey, get him the ball when it's time to get some buckets through the game. Fine. I don't even mind that. But if you're going to dish it to me with 4 seconds left on the shot clock with the game on the line, I ain't touched the ball or shot the ball in 10 minutes. It's like, come on, man. Come on, man. And then I'm the problem, right? I'm not good enough for you as a teammate. I think that's weak. And you know what? You can't tell me the players don't feel that way. They just know better than to say something because they get shipped out faster than anybody else.
Real quick. All right, brother. What's your name?
My name's Troy, man. I'm in the chat as Troy's Dog Training. I train dogs on YouTube, but I got a small channel. I love basketball though, and I'll be up in your chat, man. I'll give you a call again. We could probably chop it up for a long time, but I don't want to take up your time.
All right, brother. I appreciate the call, man. I'm gonna say you in there, Troy.
Hey, have a blessed day, man.
All right. Hey, hold on. You in LA? What part of Cali you in?
I'm in Los Angeles, man.
What about you? I'm in Marietta.
Oh, bro. Last point. I was born in LA and raised in LA. I graduated, I live out here in LA. From like 8 to 15, I lived in Temecula in the 90s, man. Temecula and Marietta Hot Springs.
Oh, man. It wasn't nothing out here when you was here then.
No. People were riding their horses to school.
Oh, yeah. Man. Oh, man. It's different out here now. Yeah. It's dope.
My uncle, my dad had a place out in Marietta Hot Springs. I know the whole IE. So, yeah. I'll call you, man.
We'll chop it up.
I appreciate everything you're doing.
All right, Troy.
Yeah, for sure. Have a blessed night, man.
All right, no doubt. Good call. Hey, Jay, call back. LeBron is first on paper and 20th. I like that take. First on paper and 20 when the game start. LeBron, his paper resume dope. His paper resume is dope for sure. You been to Temecula, Shay J? Yeah, Temecula dope out here, man. Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. What's up? You call?
Yeah.
What's good?
No, I was going to speak about why it's so difficult to root.
Why it's so difficult to root for who?
To rate the players. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, he ain't really a 1, he ain't really a 2, da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, go. Let me hear what you think.
It's the free-flowing way that they're playing ball and the positionless basketball. No one really has a set of responsibilities. Everybody really in business for themselves. Like, I don't want to say LeBron kind of messed it up, but he had a lot to do with it. Westbrook had a lot to do with it. When you got guards doing stuff guards ain't really supposed to do. So it kind of kills the whole big man. You don't even need a big man no more. No one's playing back with their back to the basket. No one's playing on the block. Because that's stopping the offense from moving freely if you got somebody in the post. So, everybody now just an offensive player and nobody playing defense.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're 100% right. Ain't nobody playing defense. Ain't nobody playing in the post. They're trying to make it positionless, and they thought we was gonna like that. I don't know if we like it. I think we got a taste of what they was trying to sell us with positionless basketball and space and pace and more shots and all that. And it was cool when Steph was doing it. But now that every team is doing it, it's not so cool, man. I like back in the day where you knew when you was watching the game what type of game you was gonna see. With the Knicks, it's gonna be a lot of tough nose defense, and that's what they brought to the table. And then they go in the post Ewing for their points. With Stockton Malone, you go get a dose of that high screen and roll. With MJ and them, you go get triangle. Everything was different, man. But now everybody's doing the exact same thing, and I would say it's not really positionless basketball. It's just one position. Everybody's playing guard.
That's all about where everybody's playing score, not even just necessarily guard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's playing score. We're going to score from wherever we can. But it was something that you said on Friday when we were talking about quarterbacking, where you was talking about how the playability, you had Dan Marino, Joe Montana, and guys like that. And then when you're talking about achievements and when you're looking at the stats and all that, then you get your Tom Brady's and your Pat Mahomes and things of that nature. Well, back to the whole point guard list, if you apply that same logic, guys that don't get talked about at all that were really real good talents, I would say is Starberry and Rod Strickland.
Oh, Jay. Thank you, man. I forgot all about Starberry, man, and Rod. Oh, man. But look, you can keep going. You can go to Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson right now in the league right now at 6'1", jumping out the gym and being able to control the game and score mid-range in the paint. Kevin Johnson would be a treasure right now. Marbury would fit in right where he belongs as a top 5 point guard in the league right now. He would be better than Dame Lillard. He would be.
But to your point about like Mark Price, they just came in the wrong era. Pause.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, because dude, Rod Strickland would kill this league.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would, man. Rod was my dude. I thought I was Rod Strickland. So I mean, I already know. All right, no, man. Baron Davis, Baron Davis, Steve Francis. Steve Francis had to play 2 guard. Well, actually, he did play a little point because Mobley was playing 2 guard. But
you probably don't remember this. But I was sold on Steve Francis. I even bought the shoes and everything. I mean, he was it coming out of Maryland.
He was. I mean, and they had a good squad with Yao Ming. It was just and they used to play Shaq and Kobe real tough, man. I don't know. They couldn't get over the hump, man. So it is what it is. But all right, man, I'm gonna move to this Charles Barkley, man, because I gotta finish this. I don't want this to go over 2 hours like yesterday did, man. I don't know if you seen yesterday, Jay. That jump was horrible.
No, I did.
Hey, there was people in the comment section saying I'm exhausted, man, because the callers was wearing me out, man. They was out here just saying some crazy stuff, man. And like nobody could stop watching. It was like a train wreck. Everybody was watching, but they was like, man, yo, let's just end this, man. That was funny, man. So yeah, I gotta make sure I do better time this time.
Oh, good, man.
All right, bro.
See y'all for full panel Fridays.
Oh man, Friday gonna be dope, yo.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jay.
See.
All right, let's move, man. Let's get comments out of the way. Somebody had said something about Viber. What is Viber? And I guess I do know I got my homeboy here from the Philippines. We probably got some other people from other countries. I didn't realize it was gonna be hard for y'all to call that number. So I guess I gotta figure out a way. I think I never heard of Viber, but I think they have something called Discord. I never used it. Anybody know anything about Discord? I think I might be able to use that. So if y'all are out of the country, out of the states, in a different country, and y'all can't call that call-in number, give me some suggestions in the comments. Discord is good, Adrian. How does Discord work? Somebody call me and tell me how that works. Yeah, so I need to figure out a way to get people from the other countries to call in, because I think a lot of people want to share, but they can't hit that phone number. But I figured out and see if I can have that ready for y'all Friday when we do the full panel. All right, so this one's gonna be a really good one with Charles Barkley. Let me give you a rundown of what's really going on with Charles Barkley, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. And my issue just off the back is that they think that the audience is not smart enough to see right through what their motivation is, right? I mean, it's very easy to see through, right? These people are easy to figure out, right? They're acting out of emotion. So basically what happened, just a quick rundown. Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, they had a little rocky relationship toward the end of the Warriors run while he was there. But they remained friends. They kind of patched it up as best as they could. They've had several occasions where they've done podcasts together. They remain cordial and stuff like that. And they still talk probably from time to time. They still got each other's phone number, right? Draymond Green has been in public saying, really great things about Kevin Durant and how much the Warriors needed him and all this stuff, right? All that stuff. Let's get out of the way. What went sour again recently was with Kevin Durant sticking up for his guy Nurkic, kind of not even really sticking up for him, but just when Draymond smacked Nurkic and knocked him down, and he went through his suspension. Kevin Durant was asked about it at a post game, and he said he hoped Draymond gets the help that he needs. And the reason why he said that is because the NBA, Adam Silver, Joe Dumars, Steve Kerr, and the Warriors organization all said that part of Draymond's suspension was that he's going to go through counseling, and he was going to have some steps that he was going to have to complete before he come back to the team. So the team in the NBA told the public that Draymond was going to get help. So when they asked Kevin Durant about it, he was like, he wasn't like that when I was around him. That was the first thing he said. Draymond's not like that when I was around him. So whatever it is that's bothering him, I hope he gets the help he needs. I didn't think that was a bad thing. Draymond took offense to that. Draymond didn't like it. I don't know if he messaged Kevin Durant at all. I don't know if anything else happened between them having words. But he definitely went through his suspension quietly, came back from his suspension. And I think he went on his podcast and mentioned that he felt like Kevin Durant was a coward for doing it. And Nurkic was a coward for doing that, right? And then they played each other and they beat the Suns, and Draymond Green called Kevin Durant the P word. And, whatever the case may be, right? So this is what ended up happening over All-Star Weekend. Draymond Green has a work relationship with Barkley, and it's probably developing into a pretty good friendship, probably. And what happened in situations like this is usually people talk, especially when something is bothering them. And what people make the mistake of is if they know someone has a problem with a person that they got a problem with, they will share information. Now you got two dudes sitting back, gossiping like girls, talking about this one guy and how frustrated they are because of this one guy. And now they both are just, going back and forth, and now they're both motivated to punch back. And what happens on All-Star Weekend, Charles Barkley decided, I'm just going to come out of nowhere and say Kevin Durant's not a leader. This is what he said.
But he's not doing it. To me, it's got to be Booker. He's got to be your mental leader and your vocal leader to a certain degree. No disrespect to Kevin. Kevin's a follower. He's not a leader. He's proven that on all his stops. Booker's a hell of a player also. I think he's going to have to take it. Man, Kevin's a hell of a guy about him, but I'm saying the same thing with Boston. That's a step forward. And for me, for Phoenix to be successful, it has to be Booker. So basically on the broadcast together, they're talking about just Phoenix Suns and playoff teams, and he said the Phoenix Suns need a leader, and Kevin Durant's not it. And he said he's always, this is what got me. He said Kevin Durant is a follower, and he's always been a follower every stop he's been at. So you mean to tell me everywhere Kevin Durant has went, he's been a follower, and he's never been a leader? And I'm thinking about, okay, this man came into the league at a young age, and he didn't have a lot of vets on his team with the Seattle Sonics, and they turned into OKC. And then you get Harden, and then you get Westbrook coming in. So you got guys younger than Kevin Durant coming in. Kevin Durant's the leader. I like Jeff Green when he was there. They got rid of Jeff Green. I think Jeff Green is a pretty good leader as well, but they got rid. But all of these guys was young, and it was all under Kevin Durant's leadership. And Kevin Durant led them to the finals. And in that finals run, they went through some really good teams led by some really good players. Dirk, Kobe. I think they went through the Lakers, Dallas, and they may have went through San Antonio and Tim Duncan. So to get through that gauntlet of the West
to get to the finals just to meet that buzzsaw that was the Miami Heat Big Three with Ray Allen coming off the bench and Rashard Lewis. Like, this team was stacked, right? And it was ready, and it was older and more mature. And obviously, that young OKC team was a little bit outmatched, right? But for someone that young, I think this dude was 23 when he led them to the finals. So 23-year-old, and you think about Westbrook and Harden being younger than him, so they was probably 21, 22. That's a young core of a squad to lead. So it's obvious he was leading that team, and they were successful ever since then. I mean, he had a season where he broke his foot, and Westbrook had to do it by himself, and he had a season where Westbrook tore his MCL, and he had to do it without Westbrook, right? So, but he's been a leader at OKC. At least let's admit that he was a leader in OKC for sure, a successful leader at that, right? Definition of a leader is simple: one who leads. so I just don't understand how people start coming out saying this guy's a leader, this guy's not a leader. A leader is one who leads. So if I'm leading you, I probably ain't a good leader. Maybe I'm not a good leader. You could say he's not a good leader or something like that, but don't say he's not a leader, because he's definitely led, and he led successfully, right? So that's one thing. Then let's go to the Warriors. This is where everything becomes an issue for everyone, and this is how he has made so many. I don't know. I don't want to say enemies, but this is where he get most of his criticism from. He joined the Warriors, and people didn't like that, right? And when people work in the media and a player of Kevin Durant's caliber do something they don't like, they're not professional enough to be able to navigate that. A lot of people just run off at the mouth like Charles Barkley or Draymond Green. That's what they do. That's their personality, to run off at the mouth, right? They run off at the mouth, and they don't say things with enough intelligence to make sense. They're speaking very emotional right now, right? So him going to Golden State angered a different group of people. It angered people who are LeBron fans, because they made it very impossible for LeBron to get 2 more rings. Like, they really stole that from LeBron. He had really good teams in Cleveland. He could have got 2 or 3 rings with Cleveland if Kevin Durant never joined the Warriors. Possibly, because Kevin Durant could have easily went and joined Harden in Houston and still stop the Cavs from getting a ring. But he joined the Warriors to make it, man, you ain't getting nothing, right? So that angered a lot of LeBron fans, and Nick Wright and Chris Broussard, all them dudes, they just didn't like it, right? Especially Nick Wright and Shannon. They didn't like it. So those guys are angered, and you hear it in their voice whenever they get anything that they could use to talk about Kevin Durant in a negative light, and they've been doing it for years, right? Then he left the Warriors because everybody kept saying, "Hey, man, you one of the best players in the league, and you joined this team that was good, and you won rings, but we're not gonna respect them. We're not gonna respect them until you leave Golden State." So he left Golden State. And he's trying to prove to people, all right, what y'all want to see, which is, I mean, I think that's respectable. That's the same thing Kobe Bryant did. Kobe Bryant played with Shaq, got 3 rings, and he heard the rumblings of people saying, we're not going to respect your rings because you played with a dominant force. Same thing with Kevin Durant. We're not going to respect your rings because you played with a dominant team. Well, some people think a dominant team, right? All right, so it was like, all right, I'll leave. I'll show you I can do it without them. And that's what he's on a quest to do. Kobe did the same thing. Allow him to do what Kobe did. Let him prove to y'all what he is, whatnot. They just won't let it go. They won't let it go, right? They keep attacking him. So I think people are really tired of coming down on Kevin Durant and having this get together party where, hey, let's all get together and let's come down on Kevin Durant. That's what they was doing all in Brooklyn. But the motivation why they was doing it in Brooklyn is because they really wanted to get at Kyrie. Right? They really wanted to punish Kyrie, but Kevin Durant was in the way, so let's punish Kevin Durant as well. Right? So now it's like, all right, man, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I want you to hear how people navigate this conversation, man. Surprisingly, this is what Nick Wright said.
Go ahead, your take. I have a prediction of what your take's going to be.
I'm sick of banging on Durant for this.
Thank you.
Like, he is who he is. He's never wavered.
Yes.
His belief is the coach is the leader. I'm the bucket getter.
Hello?
Leave me alone.
It works.
Now we can say that does not follow in the footsteps of the greatest of the greats, and it's a hindrance to him. That's almost a separate discussion, but it's not like Durant is out here being like, I'm the best leader in basketball. Right. He has been who he is. But here's my other take. Who are leaders in the NBA? Who do we know? So I made a list, guys. LeBron,
right? Giannis,
Jimmy, unequivocally, leaders. So now I'm just going to go. That doesn't mean that's the whole list, but quick. Does Boston have a leader? Do the Cavs have a guy that we know is a better leader than Kevin Durant?
Donovan's.
He is? Based on what?
You do.
Based on what?
And I would, but here's what I think Jason Tatum, look.
Is a better leader than Durant?
Yeah.
Okay, well then you're not going to, because I was going to say.
And Steph, definitely.
So I thought Draymond was the leader.
I think Draymond is in one sense, but Steph sets the culture like Tim Duncan did in San Antonio.
I like that.
He's definitely the leader.
What? So Steph was a question. Is Jokic a leader? Is Luka a leader? My point is this.
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson's a leader.
Jalen Brunson's
He's definitely a leader.
So
Dame is a leader.
Dame is a leader.
Yeah.
What evidence do we have that Dame is a better leader than Kevin Durant?
What are we talking about?
Exactly. Exactly. There is a few guys who it's like what they really mean is able to be the best player on a champion and have everyone follow them. LeBron, Jimmy hasn't been the best player on a champion. He's been banging on the door. Giannis, I think the Steph thing's weird because he's been with Draymond, but that's fine. My point is, like, we're banging on Durant for something. Do the Clippers have a leader? I don't think so. I do not think so.
See, and this is the crazy thing. Nick Wright is speaking facts, but listen to how Chris Broussard navigated around everyone's obviously knowing that Draymond Green is vocal. He's the locker room guy. He's the rah-rah guy. He's the guy that keep people in check. He's the real leader in Golden State. But instead of him admitting that, he made a new category for Steph Curry. Oh, yeah, we know Draymond's the leader, but Steph Curry sets the culture. Okay, well, I don't know how you do that, but are you saying he just does it by example? Okay, cool. Why you don't give that same liberty to describe what it is that Kevin Durant does? Because basically what you said Steph Curry does is he's not the vocal guy. They got Draymond for that. But then when you look at Kevin Durant and see that he's not vocal, you're going to say he's not a leader. He's doing the same exact thing that Steph Curry is doing. As a matter of fact, if you can go back and find the interview where Steve Kerr was talking about Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, and I think Iguodala said the same thing. He said the way they work out is legendary. He said you have to watch Steph and Kevin Durant work out. That he hasn't seen anything like it before. Just the way they work out is inspirational. And then when he got to Brooklyn, Steve Nash said the same exact thing about him and Kyrie Irving. When they work out, the way they work out in practice is inspirational to our young guys. And he teach them how to go about that, right? So these guys are doing stuff behind the scenes, right? You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, but just because we don't see them in people's face like Draymond, you're going to say they're not a leader. I don't agree with that. And I definitely don't agree with you having a double standard for the exact same way that Steph Curry leads is how Kevin Durant leads, but you want to say Steph Curry is a leader, but Kevin Durant is not. I don't get with that. Here's Kevin Durant talking about on his podcast.
I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like I want people to call me a leader, but I also don't want people to say I'm not one either. And they don't see what goes on behind the scenes or what I talk about or my intentions. When guys like that say that, I just got to chalk it up to them just not being aware of what goes on instead of like wanting to push a narrative for myself, maybe not a narrative or tell the truth for myself. If I don't feel like it's necessary, I'll just chalk it up to those guys not being aware of who I am.
So that's him saying, look, man, Charles Barkley might not know what it is I do, and that's fine, but I'm not the type of dude that's going to try to show them what it is I do behind the scenes. I'm not going to try to bring that to the forefront. That's not my style. My style is not to say, hey, mic me up so y'all can get footage and I can get airtime of putting guys in the proper space and all that stuff. Like, telling guys about rotation. Like he's not doing all that. Like like things like this, like him on the bench. Let me get this comment out the way. Him on the bench right here, going over film with Bo, right? He in a post game, if you follow any of the Phoenix Suns like I do, if you follow some of the Phoenix Suns podcasts, and I follow another channel that posts all their post game interviews, I listen to him. He explained this clip and what he was talking to Bo about, and the way he explained it, I mean, I appreciate how he explained it. He talked about, how him and Bo got the same body type, and he was just telling him some ways he could find leverage and different angles and blah blah. And on the defensive end, that's him explaining that to Bo, right? So these are things that players do, and Charles Barkley not even gonna give him credit for it, right? Kendrick Perkins, same thing, man. He I played with Kevin Durant for 4 years. Yeah, you paid for him at OKC. He might be a way better leader now than he was at OKC. So you're up here on ESPN telling Austin Rivers that you don't agree with him. Hey, look, I played with him for 4 years. So you're trying to tell the world that he's not a leader, but you're referencing that from what was going on in OKC. That man went and played for a championship team in Golden State. We don't know what he learned there, because we know one thing he said is he didn't play defense in OKC because he wasn't required to. He said when he got to Golden State, I was challenged to play defense. So he got better as a defender. He's protecting the rim. He's switching on screens on the perimeter, locking the perimeter up. He's guarding the post. Like, he's really a good defender now. He probably should make second, maybe possibly first team all defense if people actually look at it close enough. Right. So we don't know what he learned from a leadership position in Golden State that he took with him to Brooklyn and now Phoenix. So Kendrick Perkins, you speaking from a reference of I played with him 4 years in OKC is not really relevant. You have to listen to somebody who has played with him in Golden State and in Brooklyn and in Phoenix, especially someone who has played with him in Phoenix, like someone who's coaching him right now, like Frank Vogel, who he has talked about it as well. I got another clip.
See, we all know about the Houston, right? We know about him.
That was at the end.
Yeah, because he didn't get a ring in Phoenix when he was chasing the ring in Phoenix. Then he went to Houston Rockets, trying to join that team to try to beat Michael Jordan. And the reason they failed because he was overweight and out of shape, right? The reason that Houston didn't win, not because because the guy that they brought in, was not in shape. Was blaming everybody else for not working hard and being in shape while your big ass was over there on the bike complaining about everybody else. Oh, I heard all the stories I asked. So when you call somebody a follower, not a leader, let us know which team that you led or was a leading, right? Being the best player on the Suns, you didn't lead. That team already had captains and it was already established before you got there. Right, you bailed out on, Philadelphia, and you wanted to try to win a ring. So whatever you have this grudge with, someone like Kevin Durant, you need to look back at yourself and look back at your fucking career, because you followed back then. You was not a man on your own. Yeah, you had the personality, but there's nothing in your resume that had you as someone who was leading something. You always tried to run to go chase something.
That's Gilbert Arenas coming to support Kevin Durant, because no one is liking this, because this analysis coming from Charles Barkley is not wrapped up in truth or any research he's done. Right, he's never been in part of any organization, and he's not talking to no one that's part of the. He's not going and saying, "Hey, I talked to this general manager or this person with this organization, and this is where I got this information that Kevin Durant doesn't lead." He's not doing that. He's just looking and saying, I don't see him cussing people out on the sideline, so he's not a leader. Well, if you really believe that, then you have to say the same thing for everyone who don't do that. Dame Lillard has a different personality or a similar personality to Kevin Durant. So does Steph Curry. Everyone who has a mild-mannered temper, who's not go get in your face, has to get this same critique. Because when you're saying that guy, like a guy like Steph is a leader, but Kevin Durant isn't, that's showing you and that's showing everyone that you are personally annoyed by something that Kevin Durant is doing, and the critique is based on, your feelings, not in any truth. Like, go do research and talk to someone. Bring me someone who's going to agree with that, who has coached Kevin Durant or played with him. Because right now, it just like two gospel girls on national TV, because Draymond's sitting there while he's saying that, who has played with Kevin Durant, just sitting there letting him say it, and then they go to the next topic. He's not going to rebut him and everything. So what that really looks like is Draymond came to his co-worker and voiced his frustrations with Kevin Durant, and Charles Barkley was like, I'm charged up. Don't worry about it. I got something for him. And then they went on air and they personally attacked him. Right. Then Draymond will come out later in that broadcast and say, it's only two people in the NBA that don't got nothing to prove: Steph Curry and LeBron James. Man, get out of here. Well, retire then if you don't have nothing to prove. Because when Michael Jordan said, I've done everything I could do, I've won 3 rings, I won MVPs, I showed that I was the best, I got nothing to prove, I'm going to go play baseball. He left when he ain't had nothing to prove, and his motivation wasn't there. So LeBron and Steph don't got nothing to prove, then they need to go freaking retire. Then that's the problem. That's probably why this league is not competitive no more, because we got people running around here with nothing to prove, right? If that's the case. But for you to say that, we know that was a shot. You took a shot. This is for you, Kevin Durant, because you're mad because he said he hopes you get the help that you need. This is all personal.
Phoenix play in person a lot. Go ahead, Wendy.
Perk, I respect what you're saying so much about vocal leader. You are a champion. You've been on multiple teams that have been championship contenders. I respect what you're saying. But the fastest way to upset me is people who disrespect Kevin Durant. This guy's career has been absolutely spectacular. He has earned everything. He doesn't need for anything. I don't care what anybody says. The 2017 Warriors do not win without him. I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely
that
not.
was arguably the best. There was the best team that maybe LeBron was ever on. They got whipped. And I'm not even talking directly at you, Perk. I'm just saying in general. The only flaw that I've ever seen in Durant's game. And by the way, you want to see a leader? How about if you ever have a Jones fracture in your foot, or you ever have a torn Achilles tendon? There's a leader, Kevin Durant. He came back from those injuries like nothing. Those are devastating injuries. Came right back from them. The only thing that's ever been an issue with Kevin Durant is he's too worried about what other people think. And the fact that he's talking about worrying about people think of him as a leader is another verification of that. Everything else, he is almost peerless. And his hard work pays off. And if you want to say that the Suns can't win because they don't have somebody who can rally the locker room, you may be right on that. But nobody has anything to say anything to me about Kevin Durant.
Quick.
Hey, I appreciate Windhorse. I didn't expect that from him. I appreciate Nick Wright. I didn't expect him to say that, man. But Chris Broussard and Kendrick Perkins, what it feels like to me is they feel like they're the gatekeepers for players to reach a certain status, right? They're the gatekeeper. The media really feel that high responsibility that they control the narrative. They control public opinion, right? Which they do to a certain extent, man. Like weak-minded people go to get their opinion from TV. Like a weak-minded person can watch basketball and say, I don't know what to think about that. Let me turn on ESPN, and then they'll listen to Kendrick Perkins or Stephen A. Smith, and they'll be like, okay, now I have my opinion. Right. And I seen that when I put the poll up. I put a poll in the community tab, and I asked, who's a better leader, Kevin Durant or Charles Barkley? And it was like 85% said Charles Barkley. And when I read the comment section, there was not one original thought that was negative against Kevin Durant. Everything that I seen negative against Kevin Durant came out of the mouth of Stephen A. They was quoting Stephen A., or they quoted Kendrick Perkins, or they quoted Charles Barkley. Those three guys, Draymond, Barkley, Stephen A., everything that they've said about Kevin Durant negative is what the people's opinion about Kevin Durant in the comment. I lie to you not. I'm like, man, do anybody have an original thought, or do they have to get their opinion from TV? Right. So now it's your turn to actually give me an original thought. I'm going to open the phone lines up. You call in. I don't care if it's negative, if you think Kevin Durant is a bad leader, not a leader at all, or if it's positive and you actually think that this is much ado about nothing and there's no problem with the way he leads. He just leads in a different way. I want to hear from everybody, but call in with your opinion. Let me get to the super chat. You're slick with your words. You should be a preacher like Mark Jackson. True leaders lead by example, like Tim Duncan and Steph Curry. What is it that that's a poor example for Kevin Durant? This is my idea of leading by example. Is very basic, but it's advanced. In basketball, in sports, in any sport, the most basic thing that you can do as a leader when you're leading by example is do all the basics to the best of your ability, right? One of the most basic things that you can do in basketball or any sport is stay in shape. I've never seen Kevin Durant out of shape. I've never seen him come to training camp out of shape. I've never seen him get overweight. I've never seen him not conditioned. I've never seen him second wind in the fourth quarter because he was tired, right? So that's the basic step number one. You know who don't do that pretty well? Who was only in shape 1 year out of his whole career? The guy that they call round mound of rebound. The guy who said he loves all the food that he eat and he ain't gonna stop eating it. The guy who his best friend at the time, Michael Jordan, told Pippen not to go play with him in Houston because he's fat and out of shape and y'all not going nowhere. The guy who told Charles Barkley to his face that you never go win a championship because you don't take it serious and you won't get in shape. Charles Barkley, that's that guy. So he's already failing at the basic level, right? He's failing at the basic level. Then you got Gilbert Arenas vouching for that, saying, I've asked around about how you were at Phoenix, and you showed up there out of shape. So that's basic, number one. So leading by example starts with that. You know who else was poor at doing that drove Kobe nuts? Shaquille O'Neal showed up fat and out of shape all the time. He probably would have got more out of his career if he didn't get the 400 pounds trying to run and jump like he was. That's why he had that bad foot and toe injury. He was never going to get that toe right with all that weight on him. He showed up to Miami, and they got a standard for their BCAs, their body composition. They had to change it for Shaq because he couldn't meet the requirement. And then he got in semi-shape one time for Miami, and that was it. And then somebody as good as him went from Miami to Phoenix to Cleveland to Boston. He bounced around his last 5 years in the league because he never stayed in shape. Guess who stays in shape a lot that he tries to talk trash about? The other Superman, Dwight Howard. Guess who else stays in shape all the time? Dennis Rodman. Like that's leadership by example. That's the basic thing that you can do. Leadership by example. Get in shape. So Charles has already failed. You get a check for Kevin Durant. As far as your work, how you putting in work, how you working on your craft. Can we say that Kevin Durant's not working on his craft? The Mr. 50, 40, 90? This guy? Yes, he's putting in work and working on his craft. This is unreal for someone to say that he don't lead by example, but Steph Curry does. You got to be out of your mind. They're the same type of leader. They're the same type of leader. All right, I got somebody on the line from Kansas. What's up, brother?
Actually, it's a woman, Yvonne Brown.
What's up, bro? What's up? How you doing, Yvonne? How you say it? Yvonne?
Yeah, that's how you say it. Everybody probably shocked for a woman to call in.
Nah, look, I've been waiting for a woman to call, man. Y'all, you the bravest one so far. You and Shay J. Shay J is the second woman to call in, so I appreciate the phone call. What's up?
Oh, okay. And I love me Kevin Durant, and I get so mad because I love what you said about you did a poll and nobody had an original thought, and that's usually what the chat rooms be like. It's never their reason of why Kevin Durant is not good or why he's not a leader. Is always what the sportscasters say, the NBA media say. Oh, he went to a 3-1 team. Now nobody's complaining about Dame. He went to get some help. Yeah. People are this ridiculous is because he don't say that much, and then when he do try to take up for himself, he's sensitive.
Correct.
Oh, he's so sensitive, and he shouldn't. I saw someone in the chat room say that he just not worrying. He's like a teenager. He shouldn't be worrying about what people think. At some point, you got to take up for yourself.
Exactly.
Today, I watched JJ Redick destroy Stephen A. On First Take because, and then Mad Dog sitting up there talking about did he even watch the boardroom? Did he even watch anything? All he's talking about was, he's outside with a fireplace and all, what they got to do with anything?
These people are horrible.
He should have went to somebody, he should have went to somebody, not talk to his manager and stuff. Why he got to talk to Barbara Walters? Everybody got a podcast. Everybody got a podcast, but KD got to go. He got to find some rest in peace, Barbara Walters. But he got to find a Barbara Walters type to talk to.
Right.
Did he even watch I was so mad because with JJ, I was like, okay, go on, JJ. He's like, what? How he supposed to be teaching us and stuff? He's a basketball player. That's our job to school people on basketball. And you know how Stephen A. I'm surprised he ain't went on his other show and dog.
He probably will.
More.
He probably will. He
That's
probably
what he
will.
normally does when somebody gets the best of him. Then he goes on his other show and dog out JJ Redick and KD Moore.
Yeah, he probably will, man. But my thing about what I was saying about Chris Broussard and Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins being kind of like gatekeepers, right? So they're like set narratives that already are kind of like set in the basketball community, and those narratives is LeBron is in the in the GOAT debate. A lot of them got him number 2, right? Kobe is not in the GOAT debate. Steph is better than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is not a leader. Kevin Durant can't win without the Warriors, right? Those are the things that people like Perkins and Stephen A. Smith, those people at that level at ESPN has already agreed on. That's like a narrative that they want to be solid, right? And they won't let anyone have a different opinion from that. But I want you to hear how much emphasis they put on, like with the Chris Broussard, when Nick Wright was saying,
Nick, he was shocked. Nick was shocked. I mean, Broussard was shocked.
Yeah, he didn't, and he wouldn't allow him to have that thought, and he wouldn't allow him to say that Steph Curry and Kevin Durant are the same type of leader. Like, he wouldn't allow that. Like he had to come after that thought process really hard and fast, man. So it's just weird how they was like, nah, we can't put that out there for the audience. We have to keep this a certain status quo. And that's what's going on. They just won't let Kevin Durant come up out of the narrative they got him in, or the box they got him. They want him to stay in that box, because him coming out of that box and changing anybody's mind would change almost everything what we think about Steph and LeBron.
Yeah. Well, I wish that they would just talk to other players other than Kendrick Perkins, because I've never heard anybody, any other players, even Russell Westbrook. I haven't heard anybody, say he's not a good leader. Most time I hear, look at him work, before the game, his workout and all this stuff.
Correct. I hear that a lot. Steve Nash said it. Steve Kerr said it. Iguodala said it. You hear people all over the place. It's just right now. Draymond got hurt, and he went and told his big brother Barkley, and they went on the attack. And people not having it this time, man. So
and they love Draymond, and I don't know why.
I don't either. It's because
suspended for the rest of the season.
It's because that he's already decided. He's already made a deal with TNT that he go come and work. He's probably gonna take Charles Barkley's place when he retire. So that's already in the works. As soon as he retires, he's going in the booth. And TNT is just looking for the next entertaining guy with a big mouth to replace Charles Barkley. And
I never thought of that, but you're probably right. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
because he should be suspended for the rest of the season, in my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but I appreciate the phone call, man. I'm gonna open it back up. Thank you for calling, Evie.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. I'll take a couple of more phone calls before I move. How can people say negative things about Kevin Durant, about him not being a leader, and but have nothing to say about Draymond being the leader of the Warriors and not Curry, but Curry is always praised? That's my whole thought, man. Zen, how you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
All right. So I have a different opinion from the lady.
Okay.
I disagree with I think Barkley is a hypocrite. I don't think he's a leader, but from what Barkley was trying to say is that the reason he feels like Kevin Durant is not a leader because he couldn't win a championship on his own team, which to me makes no sense for him to say that because Barkley hasn't led a championship for his team. But I think my issue with Kevin Durant as a player is that I just feel like the way how people talk about Kevin Durant and what his true perception is, in my opinion, is not what it is. Because when LeBron went to Miami Heat, people actually, some of his fans accepted it and some people crucified him for it.
Right.
Because it was seen as like a weak move.
Right.
Like some of the fans, when he said that he was going to take his talents to South Beach, you did have a good amount of people that did like that he left the team because the narrative was that the Cavs didn't help him, which in my opinion, I kind of disagree with that. And I also disagree when people said that LeBron James carried his team to the NBA Finals, which in my opinion, I think that the Eastern Conference that time was weak. So
Yeah.
I just found that as a dumb argument.
It was definitely weak.
But
I want to say at that time when LeBron went to the finals, when his first stint in Cleveland, he went through a bunch of teams that was at 500. I think the Wizards, led by Gilbert Arenas, was a 500 team. I can't remember who we saw in the second round, but there was a 500 team, and then he finally seen Detroit, and that was the real big win, was beating Detroit. That was the big accomplishment. But the other teams before that was not good teams. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I said. They were weak teams. They were weak teams. That's why I hate when LeBron fans use that excuse.
Yeah.
But my issue is like when he went to Miami, he did face some criticism. With Kevin Durant's situation now, I think the huge issue stems from him leaving OKC to go to the Warriors. In my opinion, I didn't have an issue with him doing that. I think my issue with KD was him listening to other people and going to the Nets. The reason why, I just think that his legacy kind of tanked from there.
Well, hold on. What was wrong with him going to the Knicks? Because this is what I remember. I remember him getting criticism the entire 3 years he was with the Warriors, and the loudest mouth was Stephen A. Smith saying, "This is the weakest move a superstar ever made." Right. So a lot of people heard Stephen A. Smith say that and they repeat it. Right. So for you to call that the weakest move a superstar has ever made, and then for all the other people to say, well, you're supposed to win in Golden State. They was 73-9. You joined the 71-3-9 team, and these rings don't count and all this stuff, right? Go win with somebody else. What was you supposed to do? Hold on. He wanted to leave to prove to people. He wanted to say, okay, I'm gonna take a harder route. If this was what y'all saying, I'm gonna take a harder route. On top of the fact they made him feel unwanted there by what happened with Draymond Green and how they responded. And then what Bob Myers said after the first championship at the championship parade, when he said, you're not part of the original core. Like you can't keep sending those messages out there and think that someone's going to be welcome and stand. Like y'all don't even appreciate what I just came and did. And it's evident that they don't appreciate it because now that he's not there, Draymond continues to talk and show that he didn't appreciate or he don't even feel like that they even needed Kevin Durant. So you wouldn't leave in that situation?
I'm not KD, so I can't really speak on him. I do understand how he feels in that situation, but I think that his perception wouldn't have changed even if he had stayed and even if he had left. Because right now, people are still saying that Kevin Durant is nothing without Steph Curry. So I'm saying this is a damn if you do and damn if you don't situation.
Yeah, I can see that too.
I'm saying that in this situation, I think that his best situation, in my opinion, was to stay at the Golden State Warriors. I don't think that he should be penalized because, like, if that's the same thing, then why people don't penalize LeBron for going to the Miami Heat? Because I see it as the same thing. I think the Miami Heat were a super team. They were supposed to be the Golden State Warriors before the Golden State Warriors.
Correct.
I just think with KD, I think my opinion for him, not from the media, because I think media can be biased. That's a whole different conversation. I just think that Kevin Durant went in the situation as somebody who just felt that people criticism defined him. Like, it's like his decisions, because I remember it was him versus LeBron first off in his career. Remember when the media was trying to put him and LeBron against each other? And they were saying that LeBron James was the better player in MVP, and like KD always came second to LeBron James. And then like people were trying to say that like he had to join the Warriors to beat LeBron James. To my opinion, it's kind of
this is my opinion about the LeBron James and KD thing. KD got to the finals, and LeBron James met him in the finals, and LeBron was on the Miami Heat with a super team. KD was very young. They beat the OKC Thunder. Then Kevin Durant got an MVP, and then he did his thing, and then he almost beat the 73-19. He had them down 3-1. They choked that and they lost that. And then he kept hearing that LeBron was the best player in the league. And I think honestly, what he really wanted to do is he just wanted to get on the final stage with LeBron once again to show everybody. And you could see that in his body language when he was hitting those clutch 3-pointers in his face 2 years in a row. He just wanted to show people that I'm him and I'm the best player in the league. He didn't care how he got to the finals. He joined the Warriors. I think he did take the easy way out. He said, look, I'm going to get on the Warriors. We're going to get to the finals, and I'm going to face LeBron, and I'm going to show y'all he can't stop me. And he did. And when he said after that finals, he didn't feel like he thought he was going to feel after he won it, it's because that he didn't get the love from the world and the media the way he thought he was going to get. The only thing he heard is that, oh, that don't matter. You was on the Warriors, right? So he lost the motivation, and I think him leaving Golden State and going to the Nets to get his own team was going to be the best way that he was going to get satisfied with the win. But I appreciate the calls in. I'll get you on the next one. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, he just wanted to get on that stage again with LeBron and show him out. And he did it 2 years in a row, so I can't even be mad at it. And then one of these comments said that him joining and playing with Kyrie Irving was a bad decision. I don't think it was. Kyrie Irving's a great player, right? He's proven that every year he's a great player. And the only reason why it didn't work is because Kyrie hurt his ankle in the semifinals against Milwaukee. They was up 3-2 on Milwaukee. They was up 3-2. And without Kyrie getting hurt, and they had beat Milwaukee by 40 twice. And it was up 3-2, man. So that was a big year, and I think they was destined for the championship. Now, what happened after that was the pandemic. 2020 happened. Kyrie didn't get the vax, and the whole world and the whole NBA world was against him for that decision. And at that moment, that's when it was over. But you can't fault Kyrie for that, and you can't fault Kevin Durant for wanting to go play with Kyrie. He's a great player. Like, who did you want him to go play with? Like, and so many people got so many ideas and what they want Kevin Durant to do. I just don't understand why y'all operate like that. Like, Kevin Durant, you should have done this. You shouldn't have went to Golden State. You shouldn't have left Golden State. Like, the most baffling thing for me is for Stephen A. Smith to tell the whole world Kevin Durant joining the Warriors was the weakest move a player has ever made, a superstar has ever made, right? And then when he leave, it's also the weakest move a superstar has made. I'm like, man, how you gonna tell somebody for joining this team was a bad idea and then say leaving them was a bad idea? It just shows that they just want clicks. And like I said, Kevin Durant is an easy target. You can call him every name in the book. And the worst case scenario is he won't say anything, and you can continue to say whatever you want to say. But the best case scenario is if he does tweet and come out and say something in response. So now you got another click where you can respond to his response and talk about how weak he is and talk about his burner account and talk about all this. It's just a way that they can find. There's a button for them to push to get more clicks and get more content where they can talk about, man. These dudes on TV weak, man, for real. All right, caller from Texas, what's up?
Damn, Melvin, you kind of took my point, man. I was gonna ride the whole, these people just want ratings, man. They just be saying things for the ratings for the most part, man. It's all based around that, man. But are you familiar with the whole term of like alpha male, beta male, sigma male? Are you familiar with that stuff now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think KD is more of the sigma male guy. He's not the guy that's going around saying, "Hey, I'm number one." He's not the guy trying to tell everybody, "Look what I did. I'm the man." Yo, Easy Money Sniper is a motherfucking leader, man. That's a killer, man.
Yeah.
Like that dude, like his game is infectious. If I was on his basketball team, I would rather get up at 5 in the morning to get better like this dude. Like that dude is a leader, man. I mean, everybody got their own style. I get it. But no, KD's not a follower, man. That guy's a real laid back guy. He wants to win. And I know LeBron likes to be the point guard, the small forward, the GM, and make trades and all like that. And I don't knock his game for that, but you cannot sit up and say that guy's a follower, man. Like I said, I think it's ratings, man. These guys just want to talk about stuff, and it's a situation where he was the man in OKC. I'm pretty sure his leadership got Russell into a position where he can be a better player. Same with James Harden. All those guys, I'm pretty sure they looked up to that guy, man. I'm pretty sure everybody at Texas looked up to KD.
Yep.
Even in high school, looked up to KD, man. Like, come on now, y'all. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
I agree 100%, man. And I just don't understand the thought process of Charles Barkley say everywhere he went, he wasn't a leader. He showed us that he wasn't a leader. Do you remember Kevin Durant going to the Olympics and he didn't have no other superstar with him? I want to say who was with him. I think was Draymond with him? Draymond might have been with him. Keldon Johnson. You know what? Let me pull it up. Let me pull up that Olympic roster. But Kevin Durant. Do you remember Kevin Durant went? And they brought home the gold. Well, I think they lost a game early. They might have lost one of their first 3 games, and it was looking bad, and everyone was talking bad about them. They thought they was go mess around and bring the bronze home again like they'd done before. And Kevin Durant turned that roster around, put it on his back, and they brought home the gold. They brought home the gold, man. Kevin Durant was the unquestioned leader of that team. Let me see this roster.
I believe you. I believe you, man. Easy Money Sniper is a great player. I mean, he got a lot of game, man. You can see his trajectory from coming in and where his game has got to now, man. That guy works on his game, man. He's damn sure a leader. But the funny thing I thought about was LeBron went from the Cavs to the Miami, so that's the Eastern Conference to the Eastern Conference, and KD went from he went from the Thunder to the Warriors, so that same conference. But like I said earlier, LeBron has to make a statement. He got to get the news recorder in. He got to get the anchors in. He got to get the cameras. Hey guys, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't know how. I'm not sure how KD did his move, but he just ended the season. I guess he was a free agent. Went over there. The first thing I said, I didn't even say it was a weak move. I said, "Oh shit, they finna tear it up." I didn't even think weak. I didn't even think that in my head. I was like, "Oh damn, KD and the Warriors."
Right.
Woo.
Right.
This is crazy out there. That's the first thing I said to myself.
I understood it as soon as he did it, because I seen the frustration on his face that last season or that last 2 seasons with Westbrook. Because remember after Kevin Durant got the MVP and then he went down with that foot injury, Westbrook had a season where he was the man without Kevin Durant, right? And I can't remember who the coach was. I don't know if it was Billy Donovan or was it Scotty Brooks. It was one of the coaches. That's when Westbrook first started, coming into his own prime, and he was developing into a star, which is above us, all-star. He was almost close to a superstar, right? So it's kind of hard to reel him back from that once Kevin Durant comes back. And I could see it those last 2 years where Kevin Durant was taking less shots than Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook was the point guard who can't shoot, right? And I'm like, man, it was down the stretch moments where Westbrook was taking ill-advised shots and Kevin Durant wasn't touching the ball, right? So if anything I fault him for is he could have ruffled feathers and said, look, man, I need the freaking rock, right? He could have went to his coach and said that, his GM, or he could have went to Russ directly and said it. But he played within a system and kind of played with it. And people on ESPN was complaining about the fact, how is this man taking more shots than Kevin Durant? Like, that was a thing his last year there. And I think he was frustrated with that. And he voiced his opinion. He said, I wanted to play in a different offense. I wanted to be in the offense where I wasn't the only shooter. Like, you on the floor with Westbrook, 9-shooter, Kendrick Perkins, 9-shooter. Habaka at that time, he didn't develop that shot that he has now. Ibaka was there. Cephalosha was starting, 9-shooter, right? And I can't remember who else it was, but that he didn't have shooters on the floor. It was just him, right? And he said, I want to be in a different system, and I want to develop my game to play in different styles. And he was always intrigued by the system in Golden State. That was what it was really about. Him getting away from what they was doing at OKC and not ruffling feathers there, and then getting a different system so he can advance his game. So I got this roster up, right? This dude had Bam Adebayo, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Jeremy Grant, right? And then for his stars, he had Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, Kevin Love, Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum. If any of those guys veterans, they wasn't superstars. And if any of them were superstars, they were very young and in their first Olympic. That's the group he was leading. And he brought the gold home. He brought the gold home. He was the undeniable leader of that team. Undeniable. And
Absolutely.
For Barkley to come out of his fat lips and say he's been a follower everywhere he went, and he's never showed he could lead anywhere, it's just crazy to me, man. But I appreciate the call, man.
Hey, before I go, real quick, he went to the Warriors and he got the MVP of the finals twice. Andre Iguodala got it once. I'm not trying to knock Curry, but you can clearly see this man came to your ship where you the captain, and he established himself. I don't know if it's 1A, 1B. I don't want to get into all of that, but he came to your boat. Okay. I guess he followed his way to your boat, but he came on your boat and that team, and he helped that team. But also, while helping that team, he established and dominated. And as you see with the stats in his game, it showed what it had to show. So I don't understand that, man. And I'm not trying to knock Curry, but come on now, that's KD. Come on now.
Yeah, we know it's KD, man. But like I said yesterday, that's why Curry was crying after he got that win against Boston in the finals, because he knew what it meant for his legacy, and he knew that he had to prove to himself and everybody else that he could do it without Kevin Durant. So and win the MVP as well. So he it meant a lot to him. So we all know it, man. But yeah, thanks for the call.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll take a couple of more phone calls. So this answer from Roger, this question from Roderick Moss, again asking, do the star player have to be the leader? It'd be nice for your star player to be the leader, but he don't have to be the only leader, right? Jordan was a leader, but so was Pippen, right? So I mean, you don't have to be the only leader. It could be multiple leaders. It don't have to be one unquestioned leader, right? And sometimes, like when you have a leadership style that might not mesh well with the situation, like you might not be the type of dude to get, like Tim Duncan. I didn't hear about him getting in people's face a lot, right? So maybe that was something that Popovich did. Tim Duncan didn't have to do it. You can lead by committee for sure. Yes, and there's nothing wrong with leading by committee. It's nothing wrong with being a leader and saying, I accept that leadership responsibility. So I'm going to do things that I normally wouldn't do, but I'm going to do it within my personality, which match my personality. Like, Bob Knight coached different and lead his team different than what somebody like who am I thinking of that's real mal-mannered. Man, give me somebody who Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy is a real guy of faith. He don't curse. He don't, he probably won't fuss you out too much, but he was a real leader. But somebody like John Gruden might scream on you, might get in your face. Bill Parcells will scream on you, right? So different personalities, they're gonna lead differently. So when you see it, it ain't gonna look like what you want it to look. It don't have to look like I'm in your face every time someone is actually taking it upon themselves to operate in that role. Thanks for the super chat. Real leaders are dictators. Not all of them. Not all leaders are dictators. Real leaders are dictators. They demand greatness. They don't ask. Kobe and Mike was trying to win. Name a soft championship team in any sport without a dictator. I'll wait. Toronto Raptors, Kawhi Leonard. That was easy. Give me a challenge next time, DC. Give me a challenge next time, DC. Toronto Raptors, Kawhi Leonard. Tim Duncan, San Antonio Spurs. Come on. I remember Skip Bayless argue KD the best using the gold medal argument, and Sharp said, when have we, I remember that too. When have we ever said someone is the best in the world when they win a gold medal? Shannon Sharp didn't say that because his guy never done it. Kobe had to come do that thing for him. Oh, man. Yeah, he said Tony Dungy was a cool dictator. Okay. Come on, DC, stop, man. All right, man. No more phone calls? Oh, I need to put the number back up. There's the number right there. We'll take 2 more. And I'm not going to get to the last topic once again. I guess I'll say that for Friday, man. Or not. Maybe I'll do it another day. Barkley is off his rockers with this one. Leadership comes in multiple fashions. KD leads by example and doesn't need to be a vocal leader. As a Marine vet, hey, thank you for your service, big dog. A leader can be at a micro level as well. Caller from California, cut YouTube off so I can't hear the echo, and tell me what your name is.
Hi, my name is Vita, and I'm under in the comments as Unspoken Voices.
Okay.
I like to touch on a couple of subjects. I'm a woman, a senior citizen.
Okay.
And I've been around the game for since I was in middle school. And I come from Oakland, California, where many great basketball players come from.
Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, for sure.
Yeah, because my family is in the free basketball agents. Okay, first thing, Draymond Green been pulling the same mess ever since he came to the Warriors. If you look at the background when he played at Michigan and how his mother behavior is, very petty, and also she used to even talk about some of the players on the team and their wives. So he gets that. Yeah, if you go back and look at the time, even when he punched Jordan Poole, look at her tweets. Well, she talked about he didn't do nothing. He always that's why he behaves the way he does, and also the fact that he's a snake in the grass. He's a plant because he went to when the barbershop when LeBron has his show. He was talking about Steph Curry in that same room on TV.
Really?
And you still play? Yeah. If you go back and look at that. And then if you go to Up in Smoke, the thing after KD and him at the Clippers game, it was Clippers, I think, and when he called him the B word, right? He also brought the fact about the money, his contract. See, that's one thing you don't do when you're a professional player. You don't talk about another man's money, especially when contract time. See, the same thing that he said he didn't say about apologize to Kevin, and then this time lately what he just did when about the choking that guy out, how he apologized and stuff. He didn't mean it. He came out again. If you just keep watching him and listen to his words, he's just very jealous, and he's also looking for his next step up to kind of stay in the league and pursue his career. And he's doing it on the backs of what LeBron has him doing. See, LeBron puts people.
Why, in your opinion, can't Steph Curry see through that and decide to separate from that?
You know what? Curry is seeing it. Some people don't have to say nothing. You choose what battles of war that you want to participate in. You know, sometimes sometimes you don't need to say nothing because people many people that have critical thinking, and some people just go by what everybody say or what they hear. They'll do no research and go back and get you some evidence and facts of how they behave. Behavior patterns. Some things. What would that do for Curry to say something about Draymond? That's why it's not even worth it to bring more chaos to your own team and create the culture that which Draymond wants to present, because that's what LeBron wants him to do. They always want to break up the Warriors, even when they were playing good. Chris Broussard, when they won when they 17 and 18, when the Warriors when Kevin was there, and LeBron got swept. Chris Broussard got on his show, the couples, and said that it doesn't matter if the Warriors won, because next year in the news, all we're going to do is talk about LeBron. And that's all it always be. If you look at the news, the mainstream media, everything's about LeBron. See, the league should never just promote one player. They should be introducing all players so they can grow. You know what I'm saying? So
but this is when they promoted Michael Jordan. That was probably the greatest time in the NBA, and they saying that was a popular blueprint, and they're trying to recreate it every time. They always trying to find the next Michael Jordan to see if they can promote. You get what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but they make a mistake with that, because it fit in within that era of basketball with Michael Jordan, because we didn't have all the social media and the way the movement of mass media. The journalism is about hot takes. You know, they're not talking basketball. They're talking about
definitely
the
not talking basketball. Exactly.
Yeah, because Michael Jordan put down a great blueprint. You know, because it opened up the space for it to be more global and his brand and so forth. And so, but we have journalists that get on TV now. It's about clickbait, talking about players, even like Perkins. That is so disgraceful to see him talking about anybody.
Yeah,
I mean any player, because his accomplice is not there to call Kyrie a bird brain and Stephen A. Diminishing Kyrie during his time of a contract term. You just watch every time one of the top NBA players come up for contract, they start kind of dirty him up on the media because he's working for the owners, which is they're just like Stephen A. said, that first thing he get up in the morning to do is see how much money he can make for his boss.
Yeah. Now you're on point.
Shameful. And then the other thing, people got to understand about free agency. NBA players could not have to stay with a team all the whole time. Didn't have no bird rights and nothing to move on to a team when a coach didn't play them or degraded them, or the owners can trade that player anytime at any moment. So free agency is something that we need to respect, because if Kevin Durant completed his contract, you know, he was a free agent, and it doesn't matter what team he go to, because he is such a great player, skill set, he will shake up the league anywhere. So that's why they always, every time his name come up, whoever team he plays for, it becomes a super team. And if you want to use the term super team, which to me is irrelevant, because there have been great teams that have more than one player on the team from the beginning. And so now just to single that out, every team that Kevin Durant's name come up, he's a super team. But I tell you one thing, when Kevin Durant played for the Warriors, tell me that was some beautiful basketball. All those players had great super skills. How can you play? That's hard to play within that framework.
It was very beautiful basketball, and that's why they was so unbeatable, because you're playing a style of basketball that can't be matched, because nobody else gonna have those type of players with that high IQ and that high skill who also gonna compete on the defensive end. They played a beautiful style of basketball.
Another thing is that it takes other players on the team to understand each other. Correct. It's chemistry. And then also, you got to know how to hit your co-player in the right spot. What does he like? How do you like to catch the ball to shoot the shot? What makes his are you using your teammate's best skill set? That to help him move on to develop, to hit them within the game thing. That is hard to do. And you see, it's not like for me, for LeBron, even though he was his first agent was my best friend, like my family. And so, same thing with Kevin Durant. His first agent was him, Gary Payton, next door. And so the thing is that for them to be able to play that game, you have to understand the history of it, the skill set, how much they work. Kobe Bryant said one thing he regretted that he didn't get to do was to be able to defend and figure out Kevin Durant. Because he said every year he would come back with something different. He learned how to shoot over his left shoulder, right shoulder, and his skill set, his fundamentals, footwork, his angles on the court, his wrist. You can see how his wrist. If it was a close up, it was one video closer to see his eyes when he was moving his defender from where he thought he was going to go. It's all types of levels of this game that people don't understand. Yeah. And then the business side. And for people to get on here and say that where a person should go, what team they should play on, what about your goddamn job? You choose where you want to go. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
About labor laws?
You know what?
Employment laws?
I'm going to let you in on the secret.
Yeah. I mean, just common sense.
Yeah. Let me let you in on the secret, though. Right? So part of the reason why I like to do this podcast, right, is just like the analysts critique the players. I get a chance to come on and critique analysts, right?
Yep.
And that's why you see me a lot of times. I do a video critiquing something somebody said because I want to dissect it and show people how idiotic it is sometimes and how personal it is. I was so glad to
find your channel. When I first found that first video, I said, God damn, I got a good one here.
Hold on, which video pulled you in?
I forgot because I'm older now, but I save them and I save them. But I don't know if it was Dream. I forgot which one it was. And now I follow you now. Then catch the 4 guys on there and all of them, because them KC fans, they need to talk. The KC lovers of football, they need to talk about their goddamn fans, their bank robbers, and their coaches hiring their sons that are alcoholics and drugs, and they got a job on the team in the NFL, but then players get talked about. Come on. and if you look, every time before the KC, they go to Super Bowl. Right before the Super Bowl, 3 people got killed. They was messing it up. Every year is something with them. When they make for the Super Bowl, there's some chemistry over there, and then Mahomes, his goddamn brother, sexual assault shit, and him stepping over. They need to be talking about his ass. I don't even consider him a black quarterback.
Hey, look, you gonna have to call in Friday when the KC fans on. I want you to come. I want you to roast them.
And then he came into a great situation, and he can't throw no side angles. Aaron Rodgers is a master. That Stafford, them guys are better at that. Like he's doing something different. Look at his footwork. How we talk about Lamar, how his feet are not set right. Look at goddamn Mahomes' footwork. My nephew was an NFL quarterback, and my nephew, he's Marshawn, my youngest daughter. That's her cousin. And look at that dumb ass. Look at the coaches. look what they did. This is like look at Jalen Hurts. That last game, you gonna call interference? Come on, they knocked the shit out of Hurts before. They didn't even give him no goddamn fine. They barely touched it. Mahomes, he fall back and flop in the Super Bowl game. I couldn't believe that shit. I love my black quarterbacks. I always root for my black quarterbacks. Not no half breed. I mean, sorry, not half breed. I mean, like Mahomes, he's not black because he talked about Trayvon Martin. He never seen him do nothing. Things that he's helping the black community. And I'm so glad when his father come on, smoking his cigars.
Yeah. Hey, real quick.
He married him a Karen.
Real quick.
Karen that talks about people.
Where you gonna be? Hey, where you gonna be at Friday?
I gotta figure out. You need to put in your description. I live on the West Coast, so I got your time slots and stuff like that. Put that in your description, and also your call-in phone number would be helpful for people finding your channel so they, like older people like me, I can set my stuff because I have sometimes senior moments. But I love this game, and you also got to talk about the AP voters and how the players get accolades, and also the incentives in their contracts, because Rachel. He messed up Clay's contract. Donovan Mitchell paid him out, cost him millions of dollars. So the owners and the coaches also play a part, whether or not a player gets his accolade, makes All NBA, because they play a part. Because also AP don't put all the goddamn names down so we can check them. But Rachel got on that damn TV with Tracy McGrady and was talking about how she chose who for how she voted. So you got to think about that when you're talking about some of the players not getting accolades, like Kevin Durant. They dislike him so much. They got such an army of not just fans like Kevin Durant saying there's a difference between a fan and a fanboy. See, I'm a fan of the game first. I'm not no fanboy. And even if Kevin messed up anybody, I don't have I've been with Golden State since our first game in 1975. But at the same time, I will always love my Kevin Durant, because Jordan is number one for me, Kobe's number two, and like Magic, and then I'll fall back. I never would put LeBron in any goddamn conversation, because until he retired, and even if he retired, I still cannot. I've watched him. I met him in the parking lot. I never did like him. And his game style is not for me, because I can't. Anybody ever say, what is LeBron's signature shot? I can't get. Can you tell me what his signature shot that you remember?
It's the tomahawk. It's the tomahawk dunk.
Tomahawk dunk, and this is how he gets his percentage. All his scoring percentages is no more than 3 feet from the goddamn basket. He never got in 21 years. He don't have a jump shot. Look at how he falls. Look and dribbling and shit. Come on, and then he can't play off the ball. That's why he plays four square. He got two on each side, and he'll come running down the court because it's rhythm. So, and he doesn't make up the players great. Look at JR and Christian Thomas, and you look at any growth in the statistics, they fall down. You look, they should go down. They don't go up. They're not developing. Look at
Kevin Love.
He messed up. Love got to go to counseling more often for his mental illness. And there's nothing wrong with that. Remember, Love just walked off the court and went to the back and nobody. He was just tired. And look what he did to Isaiah Thomas. Look how dirty he did Wayne. He had over 200 something different players on his team. Every year, right before he complains about he ain't got enough players. Oh, he'll create some kind of drama like he did with the Warriors team, like he go to Warriors. Warriors would not have that shit. That's nothing but a little Rich Paul stupid ass kind of make some noise, trying to push the Lakers to do something else. They are done. And then all the players, if you go to look at the NBA have policy and rules. LeBron the Clutch Sports have like he no more than 5 players he's supposed to have from one agency. Everybody down there is moving like LeBron want to go get like Trace Young. Trace Young is part of Clutch Sports. Windhurst is part of Clutch Sports. Serrani, all them are Clutch Sports things. Yeah. They are just nothing but their personal branding PR person. Yeah. That's all it is. And he plays chess. I'll give it to LeBron. He plays chess and he moves people off the chessboard. And he got it all around the league. But it always comes back to bite you when you pretend like you're someone else.
This is why his farewell tour is not gonna look like Kobe's, man, because it's so many people that's ready for him to get out of the league.
LeBron been on tour since he first started. Since he got his first contract, Aaron Goodwin did his first contract with Nike. So you know what I'm saying? He been on, and he like even the Space Jam movie. That was, oh my God. Space Jam.
Oh yeah, that Space Jam movie was pretty bad.
And throwing it up like that. Yeah. And then Kobe, I think he played a part in Kobe passing away.
Yep. But we look. I'm not gonna speculate with that. I'm not gonna speculate that. Yeah.
Okay, speculation. My conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
But if you look at all these little things that he does, like him and Anthony Davis go get a tattoo. Also, Matt Barnes is a piece of shit too. Oh, Matt Barnes is a piece of shit. And Gilbert and Matt Barnes married 2 twins, sisters out of Oakland, and they father was my counselor. The mother's father. And I'm so glad they burned their butt because Matt Barnes likes to beat on women. He tried to catch me in the park when I checked his ass. You don't even know who I am. I said, boy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a bully. He likes to try to push up on people, especially women. And
Kwame call him Becky with the good hair. I like that. I like that name.
He's right, and he has a problem kind of defensive way, whether he's his white side or his black side. That's true. That's true to the utmost. And you can tell because look at Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes on their show, Up in Smoke. Have they ever invited Jason Richardson on the show?
No, they haven't.
Okay. Now, Jason Richardson.
Or Baron Davis.
No, I think they had Baron Davis later on or whatever. I think he did Baron Davis. But I'm talking about them two because they never mentioned anything about Jason Richardson. And he was number one because him and Arenas came in the same year.
Yeah.
I was with them when they first rookie year. And we used to chant for Arenas to come off the bench. Arenas wasn't lying about he had like $400 in his pocket. I got a pair of shoes, his signature. He signed a pair of shoes for me. When he was at the All-Star game. But Arenas is still just as kooky as he was when he first came in. Because his show is just like, it's a masterpiece that he does. Gilbert. Because 1 minute, because he was one of LeBron's plant, like J.J. Redick is a plant. Jason Richardson, Jeffrey Richardson, and all of them. I think Sherman every now he says something. I put one that was married to the girl in New York, whatever. Every now and then he'll be straight on it. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Just like Kobe said, I believe purple and gold. He can't be Kobe. One time taking locker, time to parking space. He has to fabricate all this false narrative because he's not comfortable with himself, and he wasn't goddamn super poor. He stayed with some white coaches with his wife, and he wasn't like didn't have no food and stuff. Even though his mother was out there, but he was not like he was living this poor life and didn't have nothing and all this stuff. He was living in the house with the white people so he can go to that school. And people don't even know that. They think about it. And in school, in Nike school.
Real quick. I'm gonna have to invite you on a show one day. But what was your name again?
My name is. I'll go underneath Unspoken Voices. Okay, which is my name is Vita.
Text me. Because it's a lot of phone numbers on my phone. Text me your name so I can save it. So I know when you call. I appreciate the call, man.
I can say so much about because I love this game.
Me too, man. You like me, man. I can talk about it all day long, man.
And them talking about past players and stuff during that time, JJ, like trying to talk about Doc. You should have been talking about Steve Nash. Dumbass can't call a timeout, no in-game adjustments or nothing. I was so hurt that Kevin went there, him and Kyrie and Steve Nash and the GM. Oh man, I want to talk about what they did.
Yeah, me too. I got a video on there. I was hot.
I appreciate all the comments in your show. And the input that callers have in your panel. Thank you so much for bringing some basketball. And don't you damn change now, because I'm gonna let you know if you start to. I'm gonna make my comments.
All right, keep me honest, Vita. Keep me honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep you honest because I want this to stay because we have real conversation and people can have all different kinds of opinions, but when they start straying to them, you got to have, if you're going to call somebody whatever level on how you're going to judge it should be across the board. That yardstick should be the same for everybody.
I agree.
If you don't do it.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I like Vita, man. Hey, Kelsey Chanel, I apologize. You had this super chat there and I missed it. So I got to get to, I don't know if you're still here, but you said, I believe that the league will get better when the guys 35 plus who are resting on their laurels leave. This will go back to being competitive again. I don't know. I don't know because I don't think it's the players that this is the league that they created, and the league that they created these players. Like I always say, tough times build tough people, right? If you create a cupcake league, then you're going to create cupcake players within the league. Like this league was created to be like this. So I mean that's the type of players we go. We're not producing these type of players. Like if we look at the NBA as a garden, right? This is the fruit, or this is the crop we're getting from the seeds that we planted. The seeds that we planted are the rules that we changed and created and made, and we're planting these seeds, and this is the crop we're getting. So the league is going to have to, I don't know, pull up all the weeds and pull up all those bad crops and plant new seeds in the garden in order for us to get new fruit. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. So the garden is tainted. It's a bad garden. So everything that grows out of this garden is going to be bad crop. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it is. Yeah, true. Yeah, it is wishful thinking. I wanted to change, but you know, another bad thing about it is if your garden is producing bad fruit, but people keep buying it and you keep making money off of it, why change? You get what I'm saying? So I think the NBA is still profitable and very profitable. I mean, think about it. They can afford to give a player like Jaylen Brown, who isn't even the best player on his team. They made him the richest player or the richest contract in NBA history. That lets you know how much money they're expecting to get from their TV deals in the future. They know the money's coming in. So why change anything? Right. So hopefully they wake up, because this is the beginning of the end for them if they don't change it. So they might reap the benefits now and continue to get money, but people are getting tired of this product they're putting on the floor. Definitely getting tired of it. All right. So that's it, man. Should I get into the Mason and Shay Sharp thing? I don't think I need to get into that. So we'll end it here, man. I appreciate everybody for joining. I appreciate all the phone calls, all the comments, all the super chats. Real quick, right now we got 88 people in here. Everybody hit the like button right now. So that'll help out a whole lot. You know, y'all just don't know how much that help button really works out, man. So everybody hit the not the help button, the thumbs up, the like button right now. Everybody hit it right now. And then I catch y'all on Friday with the full panel, man. Y'all be ready to call in. And all that good stuff, man. So I appreciate everybody from joining us. We'll catch y'all on Friday with the full panel. Peace.